Niners win, Niners win, Niners win. Welcome to the Croom Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. We got a lot to get to. I'm in Philly, Kev's in Philly. The Niners are probably right about now boarding a plane to come home. Man, what a win. Brock Purdy's first road victory. The 49ers shock the world. They knock off the world champions, and the season is not over yet. Let's go. Show. Can you hear me, Kev? I don't want to operate through the speaker. I'm going through the speaker. I'm not hearing you in my headset. Let me double check my settings. Here we go. Sorry.
Just make sure your audio.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'll try it again. I've got it here. I just didn't hit the right.
Your speaker should be sure. I cannot hear you. We can't hear you. Still can't hear you. What a way to start the show. Coming out hot here with the hot takes. No sound on needed.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
There you go. Yeah, we got it.
Okay. All right. So I had muted myself on the mic. Sorry about that. Niners win, Niners win, Niners win, Niners. What a great game. Welcome to the Kruger Show. We're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in Northern California. Check them out. Emeryville, Corte Madera. We'll talk more about that. Danny's here. Kev's here. JD may join us in a bit. The link is emptying out. There's no more fans. I'm looking down at the field. I'm here in the 49ers Spanish language broadcast booth. And I'm just so sky high. What a scene. What a win. Eric Kendricks, Garrett Wallow, JJ, DeMarcus Robinson, Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions, shook it off. They lose George Kittle, who's the emotional leader of this football team, and they kept going. Guys, this one was one for the ages. Let's move it around the room and hear what you guys have to say. Kev, give me your takeaway from this incredible Niner victory.
Yeah, I mean, incredible. Just an exciting game all around. Ugly win. And again, we're going to go through every single drive, but holy shit, man. I mean, a round of applause for the 49ers training staff. I mean, just an incredible win. This team is just so insanely coached for the guys they have on the roster. I mean, Robert Saleh is coaching with his arms tied behind his back. He has no one. They lost Nick Bosa. They lost Fred Warner. They lost Mikael Williams. They didn't have Jair Brown in this game. They didn't have D. Winters. They didn't have Tatum Bethune. This team is dead last in sacks, 30th in QB pressures. You started Eric Kendricks and Garrett Wallow. The 49ers signed Eric Kendricks on November 26th. The 49ers signed Garrett Wallow on December fucking 8th.
And they played amazing. They had 22 tackles combined.
And they played amazing. Garrett Wallow hasn't started a game since 2022. He started 5 games in his entire life in the NFL. Garrett Wallow comes up huge. He had 11 tackles, 5 solo, a pass deflection. I thought one of the best plays of the night was a shoestring tackle against Saquon Barkley on the final drive.
Yes.
Eric Kendricks. Eric Kendricks, an amazing signing for the 49ers, a veteran linebacker that you found on the street. I mean, the fact that you could just pick that guy up is incredible. This guy played for the Vikings as playoff experience. The Niners played against the Vikings in the playoffs where he played. Tonight, he had 10 tackles, 7 solo, 2 tackles for loss, had the game-winning pass deflection, could have come up with the tackle. But just look around the roster, man. I mean, what Robert Saleh is doing is nothing short of incredible. This guy's going to get head coaching opportunities for sure. But goddamn, pay that man whatever he fucking wants, because the way that he's been able to take this team with the lack of talent on the defense and stitch them back together with little-known guys, and we're able to hold this Eagles offense, which is one of the best offenses in the league, especially when they get going, to, the amount of points that they held him to today. I mean, he's playing Marquise Siegel, had to fill in for Jair Brown. He's a 5th-round rookie that was overlooked in the draft. He's only started 7 games this year. He played amazing. He had 7 solo tackles. What a game from him. But, I mean, again, just an incredible coaching performance from the Niners. There's a reason why the Niners are second in the league in penalties. They only had one penalty that I can remember from tonight. The Eagles just made more mistakes than the Niners. I mean, Purdy definitely had 2 bad interceptions, but goddamn, this coaching staff and the way they came out and engineered this win for the 49ers is incredible. They move on in a game where no one thought they would, when everyone thought that this team was done. The Seahawks kicked the living shit out of them, and no one believed in them, and they still came up on top.
Well, wait. You can't say no one believed in them. Sam Darnold said we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Sam Darnold obviously believed in them. What an incredible. You mentioned penalties. 7 for Philly, 1 for the Niners. The Niners went on the road, possessed the ball for 11 fewer minutes, and had 2 turnovers. I said this last night. If the 49ers are -2 in turnovers, warm up the bus. They got no shot to win. They were -2 in turnovers, and they still won the game. An amazing performance. We welcome in Rye as well. Danny, go ahead. Give us your rundown of it. What did you think?
Yeah. What happened? Did they win?
Yeah. Danny's like, hey, man, I was in the midst of a Tyler Maley live stream breakdown, and I didn't have time to watch the game.
Yeah. All I got to say is, Larry, you and Kev got to go to Seattle. You got good.
We
luck
have to go to Seattle.
You got to go to Seattle. You got to go to Seattle. That's.
Hey, you know what? Maybe that should be our thing from now on. We'll be like Belichick. We'll just be like, on to Seattle. On to Seattle.
On to SoFi.
On to Seattle. But you're right, Danny. We do need to go.
Yeah, you guys need to go, because you didn't go to the road playoff games in Philly and they lost. All the other radio guys, everybody was out there.
We're 2-0 on the road this year, Danny.
Yeah, you got to go. You just got to keep going.
We are. We're 2-0 on the road. We went to New Orleans, they won. We went to Philly and they won.
Yeah,
what I love it more than anything is I wanted to be here, and don't get me wrong, I love being here. But part of me wanted to be at Chicky and Pete's from yesterday, and just to see what that place looked like with the Eagles just dying.
I mean, we might have gotten beaten up.
We probably would have gotten beaten.
There's probably a real chance we would have thrown.
They deserved this, the Philly fans. I heard that they sang "Na Na Na Na" goodbye to Kittle when he was taken off the card. Is that true?
Did they really?
Somebody said that.
I don't know about that. I thought the Eagles fans. I mean, now granted, we're behind glass here, and the partitions and everything. You can't really. It's hard. I'm glad, because it was 35 degrees outside with the wind and everything. But God, I hope that's not true. I thought I saw people cheering him, but who knows? I mean, I'm sure. Let's just say this: it's a rabid, aggressive fan base, and if you understand the nature of Philly, and Danny, I know you do. I'm not telling you anything, but a lot of Philly is an angrier sports market than New York. Yeah. There's this New York little brother type thing that they got cooking, and there's just a lot of anger. We welcome in Rye. Rye, give us your take, man. First of all, great to see you. Happy New Year, Rye. Glad to see you here. And what'd you think, Rye?
Just an absolutely insane game. Insane.
Yeah, oh, by the way, Will Gavin was in the locker room and said to say hi to you.
Awesome. Oh, Will's the man. Just an unbelievable game. Like I was just thinking, I mean, it couldn't be a more stark contrast between these two teams. I mean, if you just go in kind of like a guy off, like you just start naming guys on each team, it's like there's like, I don't know, 12, 15 guys on the Eagles that like every national NFL fan knows. Like these guys are players everywhere. They have the most expensive offense in the history of football, not even to mention their defense. And I was honestly trying to take stock after the George Kittle injury. Who even is like the top 5 players on this 49ers team? And what I came up with was like number 1, probably 50% Trent Williams. Number 2, probably like 70% Christian McCaffrey. 3, I would throw Purdy in there. And 4 or 5, I honestly think are either Upton Stout or Colton McKivitz. Like I actually think it's to that point with this team. I don't know what other suggestions you guys might have, but we all love Baldy. Baldy is one of the great football guys there ever was. The man gets me incredibly fired up. I don't know if you guys saw that thing on Philly radio where he said that he would take
Right.
Sirianni and Jalen Hurts over Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy.
Well, I think tonight is market official. Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I mean, I know he threw the 2 picks, but Jalen Hurts threw for 168 yards. He has Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner. He has Dallas Goedert, who had 11 touchdowns this year. He's got A.J. Brown. They've got dudes. They've got guys. And he just, I don't know. There's something about him. I was talking to Tim Ryan before the game, and he's like, we're going to take away his first read and make him scan the field. And that's the Niners' belief. Make him go away from his first read. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they moved Demo Lenore to the boundary to play against A.J. Brown tonight in a lot of those situations. He played a lot of boundary. So, the whole thing, it's funny. I was doing videos the last few days, pumping up this game, and people were like, Krug, come on, man, you don't even believe this. And I'm like, no, I do believe this. I look at all the numbers. I'm the one, I said 23-20 49ers. And I thought it was going to be this kind of a game. I didn't think the Eagles were going to put up 40 on the Niners. I thought the 49ers could get to 20. And I just said, hey, 23-20. But I'll tell you what I didn't picture. I didn't picture Ricky Pearsall not playing. But you know what? I don't even want to hear anybody ask any more questions about Ricky Pearsall. Demarcus Robinson is a better player. He not today, 6 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. Nothing against Ricky. I love Ricky. And I think Ricky's a good guy and a good player. But Demarcus Robinson's a veteran. Demarcus Robinson had scored 7 touchdowns last year. Ricky didn't have a single touchdown this year. Demarcus Robinson has played some really good football on some winning teams. And to me, if you talk to DeMarcus, I said to him a couple weeks ago in an interview that you guys can watch on the YouTube channel, I'm like, bro, they haven't used you this year. And he's like, I know, I haven't been utilized. So I just think it's incredible. You got guys like Demarcus Robinson, Eric Kendricks. I asked Eric Kendricks in the postgame tonight. I'm like, Eric, you're a guy who plays 16 games every year, and you didn't play hardly at all this year. I go, your body has to feel remarkably fresh for January. This has got to be the freshest you felt in January. And he's like, yeah, I do. I feel really fresh. Yeah, because he hasn't played. So I'm not saying that Kendricks is the Kendricks of old. He's still a step slow. He's not a coverage guy. But did you see how much talking Kendricks and Wallow were doing at the line of scrimmage? Did you see how many times Kendricks or Wallow were patting the behind of a CJ West or an Alfred Collins, telling him move over a gap? And I mean, these guys communicated at a high level. I got to give Johnny Holland and Robert Saleh all the credit in the world. But there's also something called luck. And I know this is going to come across as negative, but I thought the Niners kind of lucked out. They got a nice performance out of Jair Brown, but Brown has struggled in coverage. And Marquise Siegel is a converted corner. And, Siegel played great tonight. 8 tackles, 7 solo. I thought Marquise Siegel was a very, very pleasant surprise. The Niners' 3 leading tacklers were Wallow, Kendricks, and Siegel. If I had put that in the video over the last 2 days, people would have just been like, you're a joke. The Niners are going to have an awesome defensive effort. They're going to go to Philly. They're going to hold down the Eagles. They're going to hold them to 19 points. And they're going to be led by Wallow and Kendricks and Siegel. What? I mean, it sounds like a law firm. Here at Kendricks, Siegel, and Wallow, we are for you, But yeah, I mean, just an amazing game, amazing win for the 49ers. Now I'll throw you guys. Well, first of all, do you have a favorite moment of this game? Do you have a favorite sequence or drive, or how about the JJ touchdown pass? What'd you guys think of that? That was incredible.
That was unreal. Unreal catch by CMC. I mean, that was a very difficult catch. Not only did he have to catch it over his shoulder, but then hold on to the ball as he's hitting the ground, which was remarkable. I don't know if too many guys would have caught that ball.
No. And Jennings was running with the ball for a while. I'm kind of used to that ball. Okay, they do that, but the ball gets out. Jennings held on to the ball for a while. He was kind of scrambling. The other thing it made me think of was, I don't know if you guys had the same thought, but a couple plays earlier, they ran that jet sweep on like 2nd and 1 or something to, or no, I think it was 2nd and 3 to Sky Moore. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing with Sky Moore? The guy, he honestly should have broke it for like 10 yards. He had one guy and he couldn't even get the first down. But then that play was another jet sweep to Sky Moore to the other side. Pitches it to Jennings. Rest is history.
Set up.
Setting it up.
How about Juwan Jennings taking just a vicious hit from Jalen Carter? Right. And by the way, JJ has got to be one of the toughest dudes there is. The guy's playing with broken ribs. He's got fractured or cracked ribs. He easily could have been thinking about his ribs. And I'm getting rid of this ball. You have Jalen Carter bearing down on you. You have broken ribs. If you throw it, you're going to throw it up here. You're going to take a hit right here on the ribs. He stood in, he delivered that ball and put some air on it, let McCaffrey run under it, but then took a major shot to the ribs. JJ, did you guys catch any of the JJ postgame presser? No. There's got to be a clip of it. At the end of the presser, he just started yelling and screaming. It was epic.
Did they not have the option of taking that personal foul penalty either on the conversion or on the kickoff? Because they never got penalized. There was a 15-yarder. I guess if they don't elect to take it and try and go for 2, they give it up. I would have thought they would have had the option.
Where?
On the touchdown. They called a personal foul on Carter for roughing the passer. They didn't get to
they did use it on the kickoff. It was enforced on the kickoff.
I thought it was on the 35. They kicked off. Didn't they?
I can't remember where they kicked it off, but I know that's what they said.
Where do they normally kick off at? The 30 or 35?
I think the 30.
I don't know. I thought they kicked it off a normal kickoff. Looked like to me, but
I'll tell you this too. When I saw the inactives, and I'm like Pearsall, inactive. Luke Gifford, their best special teamer, inactive. D. Winters, starting linebacker, inactive. Chase Lucas, a hugely valuable backup, nickel corner, inactive. Jordan Watkins, inactive. I'm thinking, so you have no vertical speed. How are you going to get this done? And yet they did it. They did it. And, I'll say this. The first play, the 61-yard play on 2nd and 12, first play of the game, CMC on the halfback toss, 2-yard loss. You're like, oh my God, here we go again. Second play of the game, Purdy to DeMarcus Robinson, and he weaves his way down to the 16-yard line. Guys, that has to be almost the biggest play of the game, right? You're on the road, you're trying to establish a little momentum, you're trying to take the crowd out of it. I'll tell you that was a huge play. And then when where was the play in the fourth quarter? There was a play in the fourth quarter where the place went just absolutely silent. Maybe it was, I forget exactly where it was on that last drive, but all of a sudden it's like super quiet.
Oh, the Jennings catch?
Was it the Jennings catch? Maybe that was it. But the place just absolutely, there was a nervousness. Heck, Kev can speak to this. We've been here for a few days. The Eagles fans were alternately overconfident and really like doom and gloom. And when I was on the KMBR pregame show, I told the guys, I said, I've been watching football a long time. And I don't know, Ryan, you may not remember this. Kev might not, but Danny might. This Eagles team this year reminded me of the 86 Bears, okay? The 85 Bears, we all know, won the Super Bowl. They were awesome. The 86 Bears also were awesome. They went 14-2, but there was just something a little not right. And when they got to the playoffs, they got picked off by Washington. And this Eagles team reminded me so much of that team because they had such a great year last year. Cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, where sports is not just a part of the society and a part of the culture, it's like the biggest part. they celebrate the good times to such a level that it's really, really hard to go back to back. And Philly, I think that was them this year. They had a big gaudy record. They had some gaudy stats, but they were playing in the worst division there is. You get 2 games against all these dog meat teams in the NFC East, and I think they thought they were better than they were. The Niners, by contrast, won 12 games in the best division we've seen in a long time. And then the way Shanahan reacted when they lost last to Seattle, it was like, yeah, what was the quote? Like, we're going to enjoy the shit out of going out on the road or something like that. He said, he dropped an S-bomb at the presser after the Seattle game saying,
we embrace the shit out of,
we embrace the shit out of going out on the road. And the way he said that was like, you felt like we were listening to him talk to his team, not just talk to us, the media. It was like that's what he's saying to his guys. And these guys came into this environment, and I'll give the Niners credit. There was a little bit of fisticuffs before the game when the Niners and Eagles kind of, were barking at each other, and it didn't get really ugly or anything. But the Niners didn't come in here with any the 49ers brought a lot more confidence into this thing than I think Niner fans maybe did. There were a lot of Niner fans who were like, Krug, come on, man. They're going to get their doors blown off. You know it. You're just saying it to be a good guy and this and that. You're picking the Niners 23-20, but you don't really think they're going to do it. But I just said to Kev and I said to you guys, I'm like, you know what? I just didn't feel like they were going down without a fight. I just thought they were going to show up. And I'm glad that they did. And now we're on to Seattle.
Call it a Super Bowl hangover or whatever it was. I mean, the Niners weren't immune to that. When they lost the Super Bowl the year after, which was last year, like we all saw that team come crumbling down. Like to the same light, this Seahawks or this Eagles team, they're not the same. Obviously, they're not the same team they were last year. Last year they were just an absolute dominant team interior, a dominant team in the run game. Jalen Hurts made the passes when he needed to throw them. This year, it's been completely different. All the advanced statistics show you that Saquon's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage at a crazy rate. Jalen Hurts' completion percentage is the lowest of his career on downfield passes. And in this game, they made tons and tons of mistakes. I mean, I went through and I went back into my notes for the game and wrote down every single time the Niners or the Eagles made a mistake, and they made about 5 or 6 of them. I mean, in the first half, the deep ball to AJ Brown goes incomplete on a play where they could have picked up probably 50 yards. Instead, they have to punt, and the Niners get the ball before half. The Eagles don't get points going into halftime. In the second half, the first drive, Saquon on third down drops a ball that was wide open to him. Yep. He started running upfield before he had the ball. That forced a punt. On the second play of the second half, a Hurts design run gets called back on a hold. I think that was on Cam Jurgens. That drive stalls out. They have to punt. On the fourth drive of the half, the Eagles get called on a hold again on a Barkley screen that went for a first down. That comes back. They end up having to punt. On the final drive of the game, on a third down pass, Jalen Hurts cannot connect with Devonta Smith. The ball goes off Devonta Smith's hands. The ball is also a little high and away. Just a bad ball from Hurts. And honestly, Smith probably could have came down with it, but he didn't. Mistake by the Eagles that forces fourth down. The game's over. So those are 5 key mistakes by the Eagles that cost them drives. And that's 5 drives right there. That's 5 drives that you made a mistake when you were moving the ball well, and you gave it back to the Niners. So this Niners win, while they played well enough to get the win, it came off the back of the Eagles making plenty of mistakes. And that's the difference in this Eagles team from last year. The team from last year ran the ball down your throat, never made mistakes, was a veteran team in the interior, and could just dominate any team they played. And Hurts was passing the ball at a very high rate.
I think the team is just Niners got a break today with Lane Thomas not playing.
Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson. I'm saying Thomas.
Still, Lane Johnson. Save the Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
The rest of their team is pretty much healthy. And I feel like that's the issue, Kev, like what you're saying. I mean, if you look at just roster, you go look at last year's roster, look at this year's roster, you could make an argument this is a more talented team than even last year's team. It's just, this is the problem with having Nick Sirianni as your head coach, is like last year they have Kellen Moore. The offense looks amazing. Everything looks great. Now they have Petula, who's going to be out. And it's like, that's what happens when you have a coach that isn't a coordinator. That sucks. But it reminds me exactly of the 23 team that went to the Super Bowl, lost. Yeah. And then remember they started like 13-0, 13-0, and the Niners beat the brakes off them, and then they just imploded and then lost to the Bucs in the playoffs.
You know what? I'll tell you.
Just one note on that Johnson thing, because I agree a little with you, Dan. There, like Lane Johnson does play a part. I was looking at it before the game. When Lane Johnson does play, the Eagles are 122-62. When he doesn't play, they're 18-29.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
Massive. He's a massive tackle.
You know, the part of the game that I was like, okay, so the game starts, I'm feeling good. They get the opening touchdown, they're up 7-0. Eagles then drive down the field, get a touchdown, but they miss the PAT. And right there, you're thinking, you know what? That kind of halts their momentum. That's almost, I said to JD, I'm like, that's almost like making them settle for a field goal, because they, you know, they're still a point down, but it's 7-6. Then the Niners go 3-and-out. The Eagles get the ball back, and Sam O on 3rd and 2 shuts down Barkley for no gain. They get to 4th and 2, and they've had success running the ball. That first drive for the touchdown, it went, you know, there was a couple plays where they're really running the ball pretty effectively. And, you know, Barkley ran for 29 yards on the first drive. They get to the second drive. It's 4th and 2 from the 48. Do they run Barkley behind their big physical line? No. They passed it to the perimeter. Guys,
What a play by Stout,
Upton Stout could have taken that to the house. That was almost a house call. That was almost a pick six. But instead, they turned it over on downs. Okay. So then the Niners get the ball back.
Well, just real quick on that Stout play. First off, credit to Stout. That was an amazing play by Stout. For a rookie defensive back to read the eyes of Jalen Hurts, to break on the ball as fast as he did. The replay shows it. His break on that ball was instantly. It was instantaneous. Like, he didn't take one drop step. He just broke on the ball instantly, and it was a great pass deflection. That's a veteran type play from the rookie.
Yeah, Upton Stout is a star. I mean, he is a star. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. And that was a guy that Mel Kiper really liked in the draft, by the way. He was big on Upton Stout. So the Niners get it back. 3rd possession. They're on they get the ball midfield, so they have good field position. They go 3-and-out, and they have to punt. But Morstead gets and I talked to him in the locker room afterwards, veteran punter. This guy has one of the lowest averages in the league, but he is awesome on the touch punts inside the 20. And he gets this thing to bounce at the 5 and take a right turn. That was an amazing thing. They downed it at the 6. So I'm thinking to myself, great thoughts. They're downing it at the 6. And then I got the moment that I'm like, oh my God, the Niners are getting to get their doors blown off. The Eagles systematically drove from their 6-yard line, 16-play, 94-yard drive. Hurts finds Dallas Goedert for a 9-yard touchdown. Oh, but wait, there's a penalty. Oh, but then they pick up the flag. I mean, that's the ultimate teaser. And so now it's 13-7 Eagles, and you're thinking, well, wait a second. If we can bury these guys inside the 10 and they can still drive the length of the field on our defense, we don't have a prayer, right? So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh man, the Niners don't have a prayer. But that 4th possession, Niners drive. Purdy goes to Kittle, and he blows out the Achilles. Then Purdy goes to Jennings on the next play. The Niners could have been hanging their head. They're their emotional leader, the guy who's like beloved in the franchise, one of the cornerstones of the franchise, gets carted off in a devastating injury. The next freaking play, Purdy to Juwan Jennings for 45 yards and no time to cry in your beer because you're 1st and 10 at the 26. Did you guys, and I gotta ask you, I was pissed that Shanahan went for the Eddie Pinheiro 36-yard field goal. I was pissed. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I knew Dan was going to be mad about that one.
You got to go for the touchdown. Don't be so conservative. But Kyle, has played in a lot of playoff games, got a good playoff record. He said, I'm going to take the points. And he took the 36-yard Eddie Pinheiro field goal instead of, 13. It could have been 14-13 if the Niners scored the touch, but now it's 13-10 Eagles. How were you guys feeling at that moment? Because to me, it was like the game had been solidified on the Jennings thing, but Kittle's now done. The reality of that sinking in. I'm sure the Niners sidelines thinking about it. And Shanahan got conservative in the red zone on the field goal. I was thinking, oh, this is going to come back and bite them. And instead, it was probably the right move because it halted the Eagles' momentum and kind of threw it back in the Niners category. And the Niners got to stop on the next set of downs.
I absolutely hated it when it happened, but it just, and that's why I'm not a coach. It couldn't have been more the right decision, especially after the Kittle injury and stuff. Because imagine if they go for it and don't get it there. I mean, the team, you lose all that momentum, and you may just never get it back. It may just be that might just be game. And instead, Kyle just said, you know what? Nope, we're leaving this drive with something positive. We're staying in this game.
I actually like the play. I know Danny and you guys are big go for it guys. I am too. I thought that kind of made sense with kind of how the Niners, I don't know, just playing from behind, being the underdog in this one would go for it. But I'm never going to be mad with taking points, especially when the game's as close as it is. I like the points there. The other thing I'll say, just to their defense, if you're playing the game how the game's been going, the Niners were not running the ball well, and you can't sneak it there. I don't think you can. Christian McCaffrey at half was running for 1.8 yards per carry. They were not moving the ball on the ground effectively. Do you trust that you're going to get a quick pass there? I don't know. I think it's just a little risky. So I was fine with taking the points there.
Next series, Eagles get the ball, and Siegel stops Barkley on the first play, and then he also had a nice PBU against A.J. Brown on the second play, and then Philly went deep down to A.J. Brown, and Renardo Green stood up and forced the punt. So Niners get the ball back, their fifth possession, their last possession before halftime.
Oh man, this possession.
This is probably the most controversial possession of the day. They run CMC on first down for 4 yards. Purdy gets sacked by Jalen Carter on 2nd and 6, setting up 3rd and 11. Purdy goes to D-Rob for 15 yards on 3rd and 11. D-Rob, God, what can you say about D-Rob? He was absolutely huge.
Insane.
So it's 1st and 10. They're still at their own 37-yard line. The Niners are forced to blow a timeout.
Juwan Jennings was pissed.
And
that was a Kendrick Bourne situation, which has been happening for the past couple games. And I don't know if you guys flagged this, but on the last on the play when Purdy evaded the rush, stepped up and threw to McCaffrey to go up at the end of the game, they almost had another violation. Kendrick Bourne again. Purdy is just screaming at Kendrick Bourne to get in position, and just barely got the snap off. So
the Niners had I have to go back and look at this again, but it was okay. So it's Niners call timeout with 1:02 left. Okay. It's 2nd and 10. They're on their own 27. Purdy goes to Malik Turner. He drops it. It's now 3rd and 10. He goes.
Malik Turner, by the way, has not caught a pass since 2021. They said that on the broadcast.
Yeah, he's a dot too.
Then he goes to Tonjes for 15 yards on 3rd and 10, which was a huge play, really, you would think, to keep the drive alive. Purdy runs CMC for 5 yards, and then all of a sudden they let all the clock. This from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 5.
They should have clocked it.
They should have clocked it. Instead, they had the receiver. Was JJ on the wrong side of the formation, or was
I don't know what was going on there, but it's like that's a situation where there was probably 19 seconds on the clock. Why can't they just line up with like trips on the left side? Like why does Juwan Jennings have to come? Jennings jogs like
he was exhausted
all the time in the world.
He was exhausted. He was gassed.
I thought it was Malik Turner. It was
you're a professional athlete, man.
He was so gassed because he was running down the field. He should have taken himself off the field, but I think that was he was on the Philly sideline, right?
Unless you're hurt, like you're a professional athlete. You got to sprint because you know that they're going to clock it or pretty much clock it. So it's like you're going to get a break in about 10 seconds here. Can you just sprint this one out? That one was mind-boggling.
So then they have no time, and then Purdy runs to the sideline, but then starts taking it upfield like he had more time, and then peeled off to the sideline and fumbles. And so the Niners, who probably would have had a chance at a field goal, had no chance at a field goal. It would have been a long field goal, but would have been like a 58-yarder. but they didn't even get a chance to get a field goal off. So you're sitting there and you're going, okay, it's halftime. You're down 10. You're not, you kind of, the one thing I thought in this game, I thought the Niners they wasted their timeouts. They really, they've struggled. They use their timeouts to kind of get through the game.
They weren't down 10 though. They were down 3.
No, 13-10, 13-10. I said,
yeah.
So they're down 13-10 at halftime, but the time of possession, I thought the Niners needed to win. At halftime, it was 19 minutes for Philly, 10 minutes for the Niners. So almost, Philly's got a 2-to-1 time of possession deal, which is exactly what Seattle had, a 2-to-1 time of possession deal. And the Niners are getting outrushed 95-23. And you're sitting there going, this doesn't look good. And Philly's getting the ball to start the third quarter. And I just figured they would come out in the third quarter and put the game away. But instead, Bryce Huff had a huge stop for a tackle for a loss on Barkley on the first series of the third quarter. And then Hurts threw to Barkley, and he dropped it on 3rd and 3.
Which is a classic Barkley move. For as good of a player as he is, he's dropped a lot of those.
Yeah, he just dropped it. And then, so they punt. Niners get it back. Jair Brown's ruled out, by the way. Kittle's out. So the Niners had to go with Siegel, and they had to go with Tonjes. And the next drive, the Niners drive from their 5-yard line to about midfield, and then Purdy throws a pass to Sky Moore, and it's picked off by Quinyon Mitchell. And you're like, oh, that's just going to be how they lose. They're just going to lose because of turnovers. What do you guys think of that pick?
This is a bad read from Purdy. Like he had Juwan Jennings open on the right-hand side. It didn't need to be thrown there. It was forced. That was one of those head-scratching picks from Purdy where you just don't know what's going on.
I don't know what it looked like live at the link, but on TV it looked like it reminded me of when you go skeet shooting. Like you just have all day to
pull.
See this duck. It just looked like a floating duck on TV. I don't know what it was like there live.
It looked like he told Kyle right after that he didn't see Juwan. He couldn't see him.
Yeah, I mean the picks. I thought for sure that the picks from Purdy were going to matter in this game. Obviously, they didn't. He threw 2 picks. Hurts threw none, and the Niners still won. But I mean, the Niners are, like I said, they're lucky that the Eagles made as many mistakes as they did, because this game. I mean, yeah, you gave 2 possessions away with those Purdy picks. Purdy, when he doesn't throw picks, is practically undefeated, 23-1. When he has multiple turnovers, like he did in this game, he's 2-8. So now he's 3-0.
Wow.
But
so now this is the point in the game where you're like, okay, here comes impending doom, right? Because the Eagles take over basically at midfield, and Hurts throws it out of bounds on first and 10. On 2nd and 10, he runs for a first down, but it's a hold on Cam Jurgens, so it comes back. So now they're at 2nd and 20. Barkley gets tackled for a loss in the backfield by Demo Lenore, and it gets to 3rd and 21, and Hurts goes to Goddard, but underneath, Niners rallied up, made the tackle, and forced a punt. And you're thinking, yeah, that was a great play by Wallow. Then you're thinking, okay, well, they stopped him there. The interception amounted to nothing. Then the Niners go 3 and out, and their punt was 25 yards.
Yeah, terrible punt.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, they're down, and there's 7:22 left in the third quarter. Now the Eagles are gonna kind of take control of the game.
They took the ball. They took the ball from inside the Niners' territory. They're
right,
starting their drive,
and then couldn't do anything with it. The next possession starts at the Niners 46. But C.J. West tackled for a loss on 1st and 10, set up a 2nd and 12. I mean, the Niner defense really bowed their neck in the second half of this game. C.J. West on that first down play was huge. I thought the Eric Kendricks got stuffed when they went to Bigsby. Kendricks stuffed him for a 1-yard loss.
Bryce Huff had a tackle for loss.
Bryce Huff had a big tackle for loss against Saquon on a 2nd and 10 play from the 24. And Upton Stout made a great play on 3rd and 13 to tackle Hurts. So the Niners force Jake Elliott to kick a 41-yard field goal. He does, and it's 16-10. And at that point, I'm thinking, you know what? This is end of the third quarter. I'm like, the Niners are they going to be able to mount anything more offensively? Because the defense is starting to step up. And on that next drive, that's the drive where Purdy went to Juszczyk against Blankenship for 27 yards on the first play. And then CMC ran inside on the next play. You got a Sky Moore run to set up a 3rd and 1. They convert on the quarterback keeper to Purdy. So they're 1st and 10 at the Eagle 29. And they go reverse pass to Jennings to CMC for the touchdown. Was that the exact same call from the Super Bowl?
No. The call in the Super Bowl was a Jennings, through to Jennings on one side, Jennings through to the other side to CMC. I think CMC was behind the line of scrimmage, and then he ran for a touchdown. This one was Jennings throwing 29 yards down the field for a touchdown.
And Jennings is a high school quarterback, so he could throw, but he put an awful lot of air under that. I mean, he really did. I thought maybe he overthrew.
He had the deepest pass of the night. That was the deepest pass of the night from any player. And not credit to Jennings, was facing a ton of pressure. He was Jalen Carter was running right at him, and he took a huge hit from him, and he threw a beautiful ball. I mean, yeah, it had some air to it and great hand-eye coordination from CMC there. But, Shanahan emptying the clip with the plays, leaving it all out in the field. Props to Shanahan on that one.
And we said that.
To do that.
We said that, yeah. Let it all hang out, right? This was the game to let it all hang out. There would be no reason not to. So the Niners are up 17-16, and it's the 4th quarter. And there's 15 minutes left, but you're still thinking this is anybody's ball game. And the Eagles then start making penalties. Hurts went to Barkley on the first play of the next drive, but penalty on Philadelphia for holding. So 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 20, and they were forced to punt. That sometimes all it takes is a penalty to get you behind the chains. Barkley ran, Renardo Green made a tackle, and they were forced to punt. And now Sky Moore fumbled the punt and then picked it up. But the Niners had it at the 31 for their next drive. And then Purdy on 2nd and 8, 3 plays later, throws another interception to Quinyon Mitchell. And I don't know if I turned around, but I did not see that play. Do you guys remember the second interception at all?
Yeah, it was to Tonjes, and
Mitchell behind him.
Yeah, it was behind him, and Mitchell just cut it in front of him. It's just tough. Also, I mean, not to make excuses for Brock, those were 2 really bad picks, but it is tough when you're throwing, I think 1st team All-Pro Quinyon Mitchell with Sky Moore and Jake Tonjes. What real advantage do you think you got there? Larry,
you're muted.
He throws the second pick, and at that point, I'm saying to myself, you know what? It's not the Niners' night. This is just the way it's going to go. And I'm thinking it's, and then the Eagles, after the second pick converted, they drive the ball from the 30 all the way down to the 17, and Elliott makes a 33-yard field goal. But Philly was having problems. Jordan Davis had an injury. Tyler Steen went out with an injury. They were starting to get banged up. But the Niners get it back. 8 minutes left, down 2. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? The one thing that I love about Brock Purdy is that, yeah, does he throw picks? Yeah, but nobody in football today is better at kind of putting it, compartmentalizing it, and just, I threw a pick, whatever. I threw a pick, whatever. I'm going to keep ripping it. That one thing about Brock Purdy is he's going to keep ripping it. He doesn't get tentative after throwing a pick, good, bad, or whatever, which sometimes means he throws multiples. But that last drive, I thought was spectacular. We'll have to do a whole video later tomorrow isolating just that drive.
Also, just
go ahead.
That drive, one thing is for sure is just they were able to run the ball at CMC. The whole game, they couldn't run the ball at CMC. CMC had a run for 11 yards on that. They also, Purdy was sacked, but Blankenship was called on a hold against Tonjes. That was huge. That was a huge turning point. So that's like a 6th mistake by the Eagles to allow the Niners to drive down the field, and they got the touchdown.
Yeah.
So
we welcome in JD. JD, what did JD, good to see you, by the way. And,
Yeah.
Hopefully, I promised JD we're, dinner's on us tonight.
Also, JD, great cameo in the instant reaction video.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, are we live?
I did
Are we
see
live?
that. Yeah.
We were live in that elevator, dude.
That's right.
We
There
were live.
were quite a few elevator rides today. Quite a few special elevator rides at the link
It
today.
seemed like JD almost didn't make it onto the elevator at the very end.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
they found some room. I probably wouldn't have been able to make it in 2018 or 19 because I was a little heavier back then than I am now. But the work I put in paid off because they were able to get a little bit of room for me to get on that elevator. But no, what a win. I mean, Jesus, what a win, guys! It's incredible.
What did you think of that last drive, JD? That's what I wanted to ask you. What did you think? I mean, because that, they're down to, it's 8 minutes left. It may be your last drive, but it may not be your last drive. And I thought Purdy, I knew he was going to compartmentalize those turnovers. I knew he wasn't going to have those affect him, but you never know. It's a good defense on the road. It's windy. It's cold. What were your thoughts on that about watching that final drive?
Well, he has shown time and time again that he can bounce back from a bad game and it doesn't affect him and bad plays. And I know you guys were talking about that second interception. If this game goes a different way and the 49ers end up losing, I mean, we're talking about one of the worst picks of his career, I think, given the momentum of the
second
game.
one?
The second one. Yeah, because the Eagles had no life. Crowd was dead and or pissed off at the Eagles.
Right.
I know the Niners were only up 1 in that moment, but it felt like they were in complete control of the game. Even up 1, it felt like the Eagles could do nothing. So that pick, and I mean, Ton just wasn't open. I mean, was it underthrown, bad decision, like whatever. It was all bad. And it given the fact that it was the second one of the game, and I know they didn't score on the first one, like if the Niners lose this game, basically, because Brock Purdy threw that pick and it gave the Eagles life when they had none, and that would have been the difference in the game. It would have been an ugly night for Brock, and it would have been an ugly offseason, I think, for Brock as well as he's played, obviously, since he came back from the injury. But here's the one thing about Brock. It's, he did not let that second interception define him based on the way that he played on that final drive. And I think the key to the final drive was the fact that they got a touchdown. Because we're talking about if they go down and they stall out and they kick a field goal, the Eagles are kicking a field goal at the gun to win the game.
Right.
And they're not going for 4th and 12. They're kicking a field goal with no time left on the clock. And, maybe they miss it. I don't know. We've seen that happen, and they missed a couple of kicks tonight. But the Eagles are probably kicking to win the game at that point by 2 points if the 49ers don't go down and score a touchdown. So
I was thinking the same thing, JD. Got to score a TD.
They had to get a TD because I was pretty confident that the Eagles, and I even said it, I don't know if I said it to you, Kruger, I said it to our buddy Sean Cunningham or Austin. I said, at one point I said, I don't think the Eagles, and this was before the Niners scored, I said, I don't think the Eagles can score another touchdown if they have to. They were that bad. And really, I mean, they scored touchdowns on 2 of the first 3 possessions. I'm sure you guys have talked about it. They were garbage the rest of the game after that. Like their overall numbers look pretty good. They ran the ball, all that. But I didn't. So to me, you had to go punch it in and score a touchdown. This is what I want to say about Brock and also just about this Niners team in general. And it just made me think of, and forgive me because I'm going to kind of I'm going to take you on a little bit of a wild ride here through.
Just don't get into Jonathan Kuminga trade scenarios.
No. None of that.
Okay, MPJ, you are a warrior.
We all have moments. We all have moments in like our careers. Like Kruger, I know you've covered a lot of games, a lot of press conferences, whatever. Like there's always like moments if you cover teams that you just remember when somebody says something. I'll never forget this. This is the 2012-13 A's of all things. I covered a lot of the 2012-13 A's when they were on that.
When they lost to Detroit in the
ALCS. When they lost to Detroit both years. But anyway, they were on that crazy run. They had a team that everybody thought was a 100-loss team, and they ended up winning 100. Anyway, Grant Balfour was the closer. He became the closer on those teams. The Aussie, right? He's an Australian guy. And I'll never forget, after the A's had won a game, I think late in that 2012 or 2013 year, they're kind of running together. I'm in the A's clubhouse after the game, and Balfour had come in and he had walked 3 guys and got a pop out. And then he was a one, he walked the tightrope. He was a complete mess out on the mound, but figured out a way, a la Brian Wilson from the Giants point. It was a total train wreck, but he gets through it. And the A's win the game, and everybody's celebrating in the clubhouse, whatever. And I'll never forget Balfour. It going up in the A's clubhouse, there's a bunch of communal tables where guys would eat together while the media was in the clubhouse, by lockers and that kind of thing. And Balfour comes up to a couple of the other guys that are just sitting there having dinner, and he's in a cutoff t-shirt and basically his boxers, right? And Grant Balfour just goes, mate, I just put my balls right on the table today and just got through he didn't take them out, but he just put in his shorts just on the table. And he said, today was one of these, man, where I just put these right on the table. and I'll never forget that. And to me, so I'm going to bring it back to the Niners here. I know it's a long and winding road. That is the 2025 49ers. They just good, bad. Sometimes they're awesome. Sometimes they suck at certain things, offensively, defensively. But when shit happens, they just put their balls on the table and just continue to fight and scratch and claw. And I think Brock does that when he makes mistakes. You said it, Krug, he throws it away. I'm coming back, balls on the table, and I'm just going to let it rip and let the chips fall where they may. That's the DNA, I feel like, of this 49ers team, is they just lay it out there.
JD, that's an interesting, you mentioned that, because before you started sharing that, I was thinking about Purdy. He reminds me a little bit of Steph.
Wait a second. Wait. I know who you're going to say. Tyler Rogers?
No, no, like a Steph Curry when it's not falling. He's just 0 for 9 from 3, but he doesn't lose confidence. He keeps going out there. And not that Brock's as great as Steph as a player, but they have the same type of mentality. They're both very humble. They're quiet, but they are killers inside. They are competitive as all get out.
Yeah, no doubt. Brock Purdy looks like a smiley face kid,
Mm-hmm.
But this guy is. Don't let the smiley face fool you. This guy's a killer. Yeah. This guy's Jordan. This guy's Brady. This guy's Montana. I'm not saying he's an all-time great. What I'm saying is he's a competitor.
Yeah, those guys competitive. Yeah, exactly. He's a silent assassin.
That last drive was incredible. I thought the most underrated play in this drive, the second play. So first down, they go slant to Juszczyk. By the way, could have been picked. It
was close.
The slant to Juszczyk. The window was tiny. Juszczyk makes the catch. That's 5 yards. Okay, so they get to 2nd and 5. If you guys remember that 2nd and 5 play, it's 2nd and 5 from the 39. Brock drops back to pass. I believe Nakobe Dean shot the gap, and he sidesteps Nakobe Dean. It could have been a sack minus 5, 6, 7 yards. Instead, he slips away and dives forward, and he got the first down. It went from 2nd and 5. The next play was 1st and 10. That was absolutely huge, because that was going to be a negative play. Purdy's mobility and escapability made that a first down. The very next play, he hits D-Rob for 16, and they're in Eagles territory. And guys, I swear to you, the stadium got really quiet. It really got quiet. The Eagles, I said this was going to happen, but I thought it would happen more in the first half. But when the Niners, the Eagles still had a lead. It was still Eagles by 2. But the feeling of impending doom, and I think the Niners kind of took away the Eagles' cloak of invincibility on the first drive when they just moved it down the field immediately, and it was like, oh, well, so much for your killer D. But I thought that last drive, I thought Purdy was so good. He was so good because, I mean, think about it. He runs, it's just, but I mean, it was an incredible, he hits Rob for 16. It's 1st and 10. Then he throws it away. Then he hits CMC for 11. Then CMC runs for 4. Then Purdy gets sacked. But as you said, there was a hold on Blankenship. So now they're 1st and 10 at the 20. CMC runs for 10 on 1st down. Now it's 1st and goal from the 10. And Purdy goes to Juszczyk, and he gets 6 yards. Then it's 2nd and goal from the 4. Purdy goes to Jennings, incomplete, and that set up the game winner. Purdy, 3rd and goal to CMC, 4 yards. I don't know if we'll see if I can find that highlight. Maybe we can play that highlight.
Well, I mean, yeah, credit goes to Purdy because, coming off of those last, 3 or 4 drives where he threw 2 interceptions, like you said, he steps up in the pocket. He has great pocket awareness, gets the 1st down early in that drive. But the second time that I thought he had really good pocket awareness on that drive was the touchdown pass. He was facing pressure in that touchdown pass from both sides. He steps up, and instead of stepping up and getting scared and just tucking it and running for his life, he steps up, keeps his eyes downfield, and sees CMC open on a Texas route against Nakobe Dean. And on the run, running forward, throws the ball to CMC for the touchdown. That's the game. I mean, that's the winning touchdown right there. So Purdy, despite, like we said, like coming back from throwing 2 interceptions, is not, more scared than ever. He's still calm, cool, and collected, feels the pocket like a veteran quarterback, runs, he's mobile, makes the throw. Niners win.
Let's, I don't have the game winner yet, but I do have this. This is the locker room scene afterwards. Check this out. This is Shanahan talking to the troops. Look how happy they are here. Wait, hold on a second. Give me 30 seconds. Gotta switch the sound. There we go. Okay, here we go. Take 2.
Hey guys, as I said every week, man, I can't tell you guys how proud of this team I am. You guys, like the fact that we had 2 linebackers play that game that weren't on our team a month ago, and not to mention Garrett, Eric, the fact that you guys were ready for that, and not to mention, I think you guys balled your ass off, man. You guys were all over the place, man. So much love, so much respect. Thank both of you guys, man. Guys, losing George like that, like at the beginning, is George in here? Love you, dude. Thank you for everything, man. Hey, guys, all we asked for was another shot, dude. I wanted another shot. You guys earned that in the best way possible, man. All right, we got to get home. All right, guys, I can't thank you guys more for allowing us to do this. Enjoy the night. All right, love you guys.
Hey, enjoy it, man. We earned it, bro. We earned another week with our brothers. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We're not finished, man. We're not finished. We still writing our book now. Let's go now. Niners on 3. 1, 2, 3. Niners!
Great scene, man. Great scene. Those are fun clips to play for sure.
Have you guys heard when I heard that Guy Haberman was hearing a rumor that they might be playing on Saturday night? Is that true? Because
it's not official, but I've heard similar that there is a very distinct possibility. It has not been officially announced. There's 4 slots next week. There's a 1:30 Saturday, all Pacific. There's a 1:30 and a 5 Saturday. The Sunday slots are noon and 6:30. They moved to the time slots that they use for championship weekend. So the next 2 Sundays will be noon and 3:30 Pacific time. The NFC Championship game will be at 3:30 Pacific in a couple of weeks. That's already known. The AFC Championship game will be at noon. So it's either going to be, there is a possibility because Seattle's been off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but the Rams and Bears played Saturday. That they would get an extra day of rest, and the Niners would get one less day. That's not right.
You'd think it would make too much sense for the Bears and the Rams to play Saturday, but it doesn't always work that way. The networks get involved, and they basically have a draft. They whatever network has the premier slot, and the premier slot is the Sunday 3:30 slot. That is the premier slot. But and I don't know.
So the Niners were the premier slot this
time. The Niners. Around? My understanding is the Niners were the number 1 pick. That Fox had the number 1 pick. Fox picked Niners Eagles.
By the way, New England's up 9-3 on the Chargers with 14 minutes to play. That game's already in the fourth quarter. Wow.
Not to bore everybody with schedule talk, because I can get a little nerdy on it. So I'll kind of pause here. But yeah,
save that for the elevator.
There is a possibility it could be 5 o'clock Saturday. Yes, we'll find out once that game.
Shanahan will not be happy with that.
Wow. No. The Seahawks are better at home. Are better on the road, I should say. This is one of, I thought, the best moments of the post game. Here's JJ. Last question for JJ. Here he is.
And this got loud. It hurt my ears.
Can't wait! Can't wait!
All right, thanks, JJ.
Yes, sir.
I was sitting there listening to it, and I jumped up. I was like, whoa, my ears just exploded.
The question was, what do you think of Seattle, or are you excited for Seattle? And needless to say, JJ is excited for Seattle. Do the Niners have a shot against Seattle? I know it's a little premature. We're doing this post game, but do the Niners have a shot against Seattle? Seattle kept the 2 deep safeties. They basically just dared the Niners to run by having light boxes, and the Niners couldn't get the run game going even against 6-man boxes. So, if a team's going to play 2 safeties deep down the field, and then you can't run on them, it's kind of game over. So I don't know, is this time going to be different than what we just saw? I don't know.
I would come up with something different for sure, because you're going to have to do something offensively that's obviously different. But defensively, I was thinking about this. The Niners did not get any pressure on Hurts today, and they were blitzing a lot. I would rush 3 guys, and I would have 3 linebackers, 2 deep safeties, and I would double Njigba, and I'd go man coverage and make them beat you on the pass, because you're not going to get home rushing. So stuff their run, and then when you have 3 linebackers, have some guys sometimes drop back, sometimes blitz.
It's interesting. You're saying rush 3, drop 8. That's pretty dramatic. But
basically,
if you can't get there, it makes sense.
They can't get there with 5 guys rushing.
By the way, here's a really, really astute question inside the Niner locker room. I don't know who their media guys are, but Niners have some really good media guys. Listen to this.
Go ahead.
It's really hard to win on the road in this league in the playoffs. What are you most proud of with the victory tonight?
So many things. I'm just proud of the guys, how hard they battled. I was just kind of staying in there. Having 2 linebackers who weren't on our team a month ago, and those guys playing that whole game and playing at a high level was so impressive. Having 2 turnovers and them having none and be able to still find a way to win that, I thought was huge. Losing Kittle early in the game just was obviously a depressing play for everybody when you see that. And guys stepped it up and still made plays and competed. And to find a way to win that game, we thought it would be a grimy game, is how we say it. It was. Our defense allowed it to be that way. And then, that last drive, some of the plays Juice made on it, I thought were so big. Brock had a couple mistakes, obviously, with his 2 picks and stuff, but to come back on that last drive, get us in the end zone, lead us all the way down there, get to like a 3rd guy in his progression on the touchdown. Real proud of the guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, really, really good questions. I don't know who's asking these questions in there, but they got some dudes in there. Obviously, that was me. What do you guys think? Should we hit? Well, first of all, we're gonna do a sleeper lineup, right, Kev?
Real quick.
We actually. How does this work, Kev? Why don't you explain it? Since we got to do this real quick here, why don't we? What are you thinking? We're
just gonna do it for tomorrow night, real quick. Just two players.
Okay. So Sleeper is a proud sponsor of the Kruger Show. Thanks to Sleeper for sponsoring the Kruger Show. Fortnite football season, fastest growing fantasy platform in the world, one-stop shop, blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions to apply. Go ahead, guys. What do you think? Do you guys have an angle or a thought on Texans Steelers Monday night, or is there anything on this that jumps out to you guys? Is there
Low
a disease
scoring.
Al Shire?
Let's see.
Let's see if there's a disease.
Yes, there is 4.5 solo tackles.
Yeah, let me go with that. Let me go with more for Aziz. Aziz is a beast. He's going to have at least 8.
I would like to go under on the Rodgers.
I would too. The 205.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, go under. I don't see how.
Let's do that.
Ryan, what do you think? You're the big gambler.
I mean, it seems like kind of soft to not have some type of touchdown bet, but I mean, the games could be pretty low scoring. I don't know, I like Gainwell.
Let's go Gainwell. What does Gainwell look like? He is gutty, former Eagle. They probably could have used him tonight. I actually thought Gainwell was kind of an underrated back. Did you guys? He's a good back.
Anytime touchdown, or what do you think?
Yeah, that might be the anytime touchdown guy.
I say do it. I say just do it.
Let's go there.
All right, let's submit it.
Oh, okay. We got 3. We're going
Yeah.
10. Let's see what we got.
Oh, I can't submit it because I'm in Philadelphia right now. But if you were in California, you could totally submit this lineup.
Okay. So we have Aziz Al-Shire's got to make at least 5 solo tackles. Aaron Rodgers has got to throw for less than 206 yards. And Gainwell's got to have a touchdown. If those 3 things happen, your $10 turns into millions.
105.20.
105.20 or 105.20.
Philly, what a bunch of losers. You can't do anything in Philly.
Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud
You have to
sponsor
gamble legally.
of the Kruger Show. Also, thanks to Claudaddy Arcades for sending us to Philly. We're here in Philly because of our sponsor, Claudaddy Arcades. 7 locations: San Diego, LA, Palmdale, Visalia, Fresno, Modesto, and Capitola. Great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you. Claudaddy Arcades, fantastic. Someone says Larry is sauced up. No, Larry is not sauced up.
Yeah, there have been a lot of comments saying that Larry's drunk right now. That's been a common theme in the chat.
Larry's just excited.
Not drunk. I mean,
high on life.
Catch me 3 hours from now after we go to dinner and I buy JD 5 drinks and we eat more alligator. Oh, I guess we're not New Orleans, so we know alligator here. And I can't go any more of the cheesesteak. I mean, that's Angelo's. Did you get a cheesesteak, JD, when you were here? Or
I did. I went to Jim's. Not Pat's or Geno's.
I've heard of Jim's. Someone recommended that. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Jim's and it was phenomenal. And that was last night's meal. And then just been yucking it. I had one of the big soft. They had the big soft.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
Wow.
That's. I mean, come on. I mean, wow. Do I have to do the rest of this show without a shirt just to show you guys that?
Please don't. Please don't.
You might get thrown out of the
no.
the link. You're gonna get thrown out of the link. Although there was a shirtless
you don't get this kind of tricep development. You don't get this kind of tricep development easily. This is not an overnight thing right here. All right.
There was a shirtless guy. Were you in the elevator when the shirtless guy got in, or was that not you?
No.
Were you?
No.
There was a shirtless guy on the ride up. It was like, media, and they were holding.
We were in live for that.
For coaches, and then all of a sudden, this guy comes in, like, got room for one more, and he's not wearing a shirt at all.
Not for you.
Speaking of
it was
of
a
guys,
wild elevator night, man. I'm telling you. It was.
I did see in one of the starred upcoming super chats, somebody said Big Dom caught one more pass than AJ Brown in the second half.
Oh,
man.
Dude,
AJ Brown could have caught that ball on his curved treadmill, man. That was like.
This was a hilarious stat I saw after the game. I got to pull this up because, yeah. You know who has the same amount of touchdown passes in the playoffs as Juwan Jennings?
Who?
The Raiders?
Mr. If. Justin Herbert. The same amount of passing touchdowns in the playoffs.
Career.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Our buddy Josh Dubow put a Raider spin on that, as he often does. The Raiders have 2 passing touchdowns as a team since 2003 in the playoffs.
Nice.
The Raiders, since 2003, have as many touchdowns passes in the playoffs as Juwan Jennings.
23 years.
Should we go game balls and then do our supers and bolt for the door?
Sure.
We're an hour and 9 minutes in. We've got over 4,000 people watching live right now, so thank you to everybody. This is not, Dan breaking down the bullpen right here. I mean, we got a lot of people here. I'm just, Danny, you know how much I love you. Habbas Law, though, 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. HabbasLaw.com on the web. Thanks to Habbas Law for being a proud sponsor of the Kruger Show. All right, should we hit our supers here, or should we?
No, let's do game balls.
Let's go game balls. Okay, go ahead. Why don't we start with? We'll start with you, Kevin. We'll go around that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just stick with my theme, which is just these linebackers, man. I mean, you can't have a lot of faith in two guys that weren't on the roster. Like I said, Eric Hendricks wasn't on the roster until November 26th, the day, or maybe that was Thanksgiving. And then the Garrett Walla wasn't on the roster until December 8th. Garrett Walla was a special teams practice team player for the Broncos. He steps in, and you wouldn't even guess that the guy's only made 5 starts in his career. Just incredible performance from both of them. You're going against one of the best backs in the league in our time. You're going against a running quarterback that likes to move a little bit and is big and strong. You're going against 2 great wide receivers in Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. These guys made tackles. 2 pass deflections from both of them. Eric Hendricks with the pass deflection on the final play of the game to win the game. Eric Hendricks had 2 tackles for loss. They both had over 7 tackles solo. Just an incredible performance. I would never have guessed going into this game that those guys would have been the strengths of the team, let alone, or like, I really thought they would have been the weaknesses. I mean, anyone would have thought of that. Just an incredible performance from both of them, and great pickups, especially on the Eric Hendricks side, to get a veteran linebacker who can play in the playoffs at this point. If those guys are going to play like they did today, I feel a lot more confident about this defense.
The Niners went from linebackers falling off tackles and missing 17 tackles to taking a couple veterans and who are fresh, put them out there, and those 2 guys balled out. Eric Kendricks, Wallow's a career special teamer. Eric Kendricks is a really good NFL linebacker who's played a lot of football. So, the fact that these guys are getting an opportunity, I felt like the Niners were a much better tackling team tonight than they ever were in the last, let's say, month of the year. Because even when they had Bethune in there, but he was beat up, his body was beat up, and he's young, and now you've got veterans who know where they're supposed to be. The run, you hear guys who talk football talk about run fits, right? The run fits. And that just basically means everybody being in the right spot. There's gaps, and everybody's got to have gap integrity and be in the right spots. It's hard for young players. It's easier for veteran players. And you could see Kendricks and Wallow, these guys were directing traffic. I can't wait to watch the game on television and to watch the All-22 and just watch the way those 2 guys operated. So good call, Kev. Danny, who gets your game ball?
Oh, wow. There's so many on the offensive side. I love what CMC did, but that's obvious. I'm going to go with a guy that's kind of an unsung hero, I think. I'm going with Marcus Siegel because he came in, and that one open field tackle that he got Devonta Smith, that he did not get juked. I think it was Devonta Smith on one-on-one. Was it Smith or Bark? Who was that? Where he made the open field tackle where if he didn't, it might have been a touchdown. Trying to remember who it was, but I liked what he did out there today. Did he have 7 solo tackles, I think?
Marquis Siegel was absolutely huge. And that was a lucky thing, too, because Brown is their choice. They like Brown. But you know what? The truth of the matter is that these guys are all basically the same. Brown's a little bit smarter as far as a little bit more knowledgeable about the defense. Siegel's maybe a little bit better natural cover skills as a former corner at K-State. They're very comparable. But you know what? Siegel's the better cover man, and it's a passing league. So I think the Niners may have lucked out, because look at it this way. If Siegel can play the way he played this week, next week, that's a huge shot in the arm for the 49ers. Really, all 3 of those guys. If those guys play the way they played today, I don't want to say they played over their skis, but they fulfilled expectations and then some. Rye, who gets your game ball?
Oh, man, there's so many options. I got to go Demarcus Robinson. Just an insane game. I think really the difference looking at the Seattle game to this game, offensively was kind of Demarcus Robinson. It's just that he was the only guy that brought any kind of like team speed or explosiveness. And like just from the jump was and by the way, how about him running with the ball yards after the catch? Like it's really strange. I can't tell if it is he being like extremely effective doing this, or is it he looking like really weird and it's not as effective? Like he get? I'm not sure, but I'm into it because it works. But yeah, he brought a whole new dimension. Like without Pearsall, you look around, it's like, okay, now Kittle's out. It's like, all right, you got Tonjes, you got Juwan Jennings, who's great, but can't separate at all, really. Let's see, who else do we got? Kendrick Bourne, he doesn't separate that much. He doesn't really know the plays. Sky Moore, yeah, he doesn't really know what he's doing either. So it's like, if they didn't have Demarcus Robinson in this game, I honestly don't think they win. He was awesome, and I hopefully he stays involved next week, even with Pearsall back.
No doubt. JD, game ball. Who are you giving it to? So Danny went. Rye went DeMarcus. Danny went with Siegel. Kev went with Wallow or Kendricks?
Wallow and Kendricks. Yeah.
Wallow and Kendricks. Oh, Kev taking two. Okay, JD, go ahead.
I'm going to take Juwan Jennings for
you took my guy.
Yeah, I'm going Juwan. Again, it was kind of a quiet game for Juwan, but you look at, I mean, we're talking one catch for 45 yards, and then you wind up with the touchdown pass that proves to be the difference in the game. I know the Niners went down and actually scored the game-winning touchdown, and it was Purdy to McCaffrey. But if they don't hit the Jennings ball, maybe they don't score there, and maybe they wind up, coming up 3-4 points short in this game. So Juwan always, even on a night where it wasn't maybe the most statistically great game, his two big plays were absolute game winners for this team. So I'll go Juwan.
That's a good call. I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. I mean,
well, Larry, you get 3 picks. You got to show him who's boss. If Kev could take 2, you got to.
Okay. I'm going 3 picks. Here are my picks. I'm going Brock Purdy because you know what? A lot of guys would be really bothered and a little reticent to let it loose when they've thrown 2 picks on the road in the playoffs with the season on the line. This guy keeps ripping it. So Brock Purdy for that. Shanahan for letting it all hang out on the, to come up with the pass of JJ to McCaffrey. And they needed to let it all hang out. They did. That's Shanahan. And I'm going to give it to John Lynch because you know what? You guys were falling like flies, and he picked up Garrett Wallow and Eric Kendricks. And damn it, if those guys didn't show up tonight in a fucking huge way. So Lynch, Shanny, Purdy, those are my game balls. Right.
Someone's got to take CMC. The guy scored 2 touchdowns with maybe the best catch of the season for the Niners.
Yeah, seriously. We take CMC for granted. I think we all know that we take CMC for granted. All right, let's go speed round on our supers. Here we go. Harry Johnson says, I had my doubts all game, but this is when heart outweighs talent. We got guys that wanted it more, and I bet they were trying to win it for George. George is a unique dude. George was leaving on crutches with his wife, and I'm sure he's feeling like hell. He's still big smile on his face, uplifting. Anybody can be uplifting when you're feeling good. Anybody can be uplifting when you're on top. It's hard to be uplifting when you're staring at a year and a half of rehab and your career's in the balance. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's a devastating thing for an athlete to be. I mean, this is like Klay Thompson getting hurt at the end of the year, right? I mean,
yep.
He's not going to play anymore this year, but he's not going to play next year probably. So, I mean,
might be ready for the playoffs if they make it.
But I mean, that's a tough one. And he's still real positive.
You guys talk about the whole tequila story?
That's what I wanted to bring up. Yeah.
No.
I saw that. That was weird.
Well, tell me. I don't know the story.
So Diana Rossini of The Athletic reported, and this is when Kittle, she was in Philly and kind of making the rounds on the field and around the locker rooms or whatever. And when Kittle went to the tunnel, went to the locker room, he basically, the story goes, a Niner employee just walked into the locker room carrying a bottle of tequila. Best guess, it's for George Kittle. And so apparently Jed York went into the locker room with Claire Kittle, George's wife, and said, "Hey, is there anything I can get you?" And, the shitty situation, out for the year, everything going on. And Kittle said a bottle of tequila. So Jed had a bottle of tequila from his suite at Lincoln Financial Field sent down to the 49ers locker room.
That's hilarious.
And Diana reports it was Patron. The bottle was sent from Jed York's suite, and that the bottle is now empty. That is again all via Diana Rossini of The Athletic. So George, whatever gets you through the night, brother. Pour some out for George Kittle.
Let's hope that George shares.
Some like Civil War post battle type stuff. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. We got this one from Chico _Dusty. Seattle revenge game loading. Purdy undefeated in Seattle. God, how sweet would it be to beat them there? Thoughts of an Uber driver. F you, Larry. Don't look now. Niners are headed to the divisional round on fumes. Any word on Warner coming back? No word on that. I'm the wrong guy to ask about that.
Shanahan kind of poo-pooed that too.
Yeah.
He
was asked about it.
Guys,
not coming back.
They don't. I mean, I don't want to say anything that's going to upset 49er fans, and I understand a lot of you want this really badly, but it's just not. There's right and wrong things to do, and if it's the Super Bowl, maybe. But I think anything before the Super Bowl, I wouldn't risk it, and I don't even think I would risk it. Period. I just wouldn't. You see how hard it is to play this game. What if he gets hurt again? This is the man's career. Just had a second baby. I'd be like, Fred, you've given it all to us. By the way, Fred Warner got an all-pro vote. Did you see that? That linebacker? He played 6 games or whatever. He got an all-pro vote.
He got hurt against Tampa. That was week 5 or 6. That was week 6.
Yeah. But no, I don't know about Warner coming back. I would say I don't think so, but we'll see. Todd, what does that say? Todd Labor. Hey everybody from Bear, Delaware. I'm so happy that the Niners won. I wore my Deebo Samuel jersey to work today. I was working at Goodwill. I saw the first half highlights on KMBR of the touchdown calls by Guy Haberman. Yeah, Guy Haberman was on the call today, and good for Guy. And Greg Papa, I know this is tough for you to watch these games and not be able to call them, but we love you, Pop. And we'll talk to you tomorrow on the radio. And, keep fighting your fight, man. Keep fighting your fight. We're all behind you. Blind Vegan Rescue. Niners beat Hawks. Kyle ties Walsh 10-4 in the playoffs. It's not easy to do.
Record. To not win a Super Bowl, it's almost impossible to be even 9-4 and not have a soupy.
That's a good point. Harry Johnson, yes. Siegel is our best safety, speed and correct angles. You know what? I think if you said to me at the beginning of the year, there's a lot of good young players back there. Who do you like? I think it's Mustafa and Siegel are the guys that fit the best. Mustafa's a thumper, plays up on the line. He's a hitter. Siegel's a cover guy and who can really move and runs to the 4-3. So I don't know. I think long-term that might be their safety duo. M. Balius, 49ers playing like the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team. Do you believe in miracles? It might take a miracle for the Niners to get this done. Bruce, what's up, Bruce? Big Dom with more catches in the second half than A.J. Brown. Once again, Big Dom is the security for Sirianni, or Sirianni the security for Big Dom?
He's rocking like Richard Malay, and like he's got like insane Labubu chain on. I'm just like, what is he? What is he?
Labubu.
Big Dom. The guy, I mean, come on. I mean, and everybody's like, he's a great guy, man. He must be a great guy, because how could you do absolutely jack shit and be on the sidelines for all these games?
He's also a guy, apparently you don't be careful, Rye. Like, he's also the guy, we are in the Philly Jersey border here.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you don't want to say bad things about from what
he knows
I heard,
people.
so.
I don't know. I think he's kind of an He's like the Rizzler of the NFL. Like,
Okay.
If I don't make my
Ryan's
flight back,
good. Ryan's good for at
thanks,
least 3 or
Ryan.
4
If I don't
Gen
make
Z
my flight back,
references.
thanks, bro.
Yeah. Everything was going well. The Niners had pulled the upset, and then Rye talked trash on Dom, and then JD, Kev, and Krug never made it out of
went
Philly.
out on a boat ride with Tony Soprano and Big Pussy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That Philly, Jersey area, one of the I used to live back in Connecticut, drove through there. It is not it is not a beautiful sight.
Well, let's just look at it this way. We won't be driving across the bridge to Camden, New Jersey anytime soon. 49er Fisherman says not having Brown was an upgrade. Sick of the politics on this team. Play the best players. Oh, yeah. F you, Larry. Haha. Yeah, you know what? I'm with you on this one, 49er Fisherman. I hate the sacred cows. Play your best players. Life's too short, period. Mike Kazarian. F you, Larry. You called the trick play. No one knows this team better. Should have yelled pig and a pickle in the packed elevator. Let's fucking go. That's what I need. You know
it would be
hilarious. Get Kyle to introduce some kind of an audible at the line of scrimmage with pig and a pickle. Pig and a pickle.
The same
pig
thing.
and a pickle. Dude, how epic would that be for David and Mary if all of a sudden in the middle of like Super Bowl 60 at Levi's, Brock Purdy's calling out pig and a pickle and throws a
pig and a pickle, pig and a pickle,
pig and a pickle. People are picking it up. It's like it goes international. They opened like 4 more locations in February. That would be incredible. What does it say? M. Tengberg. Pearsall on the trade block. I've seen enough. A.J. Brown to San Francisco. F you, Larry. Love the show. By the way, if you're seeing people say F you, Larry, that is a term of endearment on the Kruger show. I like it when the texters say F you, Larry. It means that they know the show. All right, we got this one, Harry Johnson. That roughing call was bogus. Is he talking about the roughing call on Jalen Carter against
No, he's talking about the roughing call,
Siegel.
or not? It was unnecessary roughness. Siegel hit.
Dude, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Are we gonna let these guys play football or what?
Yeah, he was already.
Do we like football or do we not
suspend.
like football? I mean, that was a ridiculous call. But we've seen those. They the way that Hurts. I thought Hurts drew that call, but the way he kind of snapped back, because when you watch the replay, it didn't look like he took that big of a hit, but he looked like in real time like he got crushed, and all these people were like, "Oh my God, throw the flag." We got this one, Thomas Selman. So freaking proud. This is a testament to that organization. Yeah, no question about that. We got this one from Solid MLG 1999. F you, Larry. I know you like those super chats, but I was down and out after Kittle going down, but I am very proud of this team for the win. Thank you for your awesome coverage of this team. Safe flight, get home. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Scott WD, Larry, I fucking love you. Sorry, Mom. Win, lose, or draw, I ride with Brock and the boys. Gotta have faith to be faithful. Amen to that, brother. Bruce is back. He says, can the Niners get revenge tour? Eagles, Hawks, Rams. Ooh. I'm still dreaming the Niners Patriots dream. Gore to the Hall, Craig to the Hall, Kraft to the Hall, Belichick to the Hall, all during Super Bowl week. Niners, Pats, dynasty against dynasty at Levi's, Purdy against Drake May. I think that would be epic. That's what I'm rooting for. We get this one from TFS. One penalty, rotations on defense, yards per pass completion. Eagles running game in the second half held them under 20. All of that drive to the end in this end of the second half, and -2 in the turnovers. Yeah, the turnovers were a killer. John Kalua, amazing win. Robert Saleh, coach of the year. Nick Sirianni should be fired. That was an unmotivated, undisciplined Eagle team dripping with talent. I'll say this too.
Facts.
Dude, the Eagles could have gone for the 2 seed. They could have gone for the 2 seed. Now, he says it's all about rest. I think it was a slight against the Niners. I think Lane Johnson not playing tonight was a slight against the Niners. I think the Eagles thought they could just roll their jocks out there and beat this Niner team, and they weren't going to risk Lane Johnson, and they weren't going to risk, taking on the Packers instead. Now, other people said, no, the timeline doesn't add up. But I think these guys knew what they were doing. Believe me, they could have gone for that 2 seed. They chose rest, but I mean, do they really need rest? Because then they chose rest again today for Lane Johnson. Here's the thing: the Niners were trying to win today. The Eagles were trying to win the Super Bowl, and you have to win every game to get there. You can't just set things up for your perfect Super Bowl run. Robert Saleh is going to get a job, by the way. The whole nation just watched Garrett Wallow and Eric Kendricks, dominate. And Garibay says Pearsall and Cowing need speed. No Bourne, no Turner. Yeah, I first of all, you're not going to see Cowing, I don't believe. I'd like to see Watkins. Keep developing your roster. Oh, I love this one. Charles, cry, Eagles cry. Is there anybody left in the press box? I'd like to say it louder. Cry, Eagles, cry. There we go. We'll see if we get out.
I was walking this morning around town, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of Eagles chants going on. And there was a homeless guy that screamed "Go Birds" at me. I mean, like the whole city was ready for this game. So hopefully we don't get mugged tonight.
Seriously. The recovery 716. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. Was waiting for this live. Let's go. I love it. I'm glad you were waiting for it. I'm glad we delivered. Pretty good 80. Can we get a shout out for Hertz and his Avengers? Shout out.
Okay.
Keats says, did you see Hertz doing most of the talking during the last time out? I knew we had it at that point, at that time. I didn't see that because I was not watching on the TV. I was sitting in the sitting here in the press box. TFS, NFC West, 3/4 of the divisional series. Really good division. That was my other take, was that, you know what? The Eagles were a fraud because they played in the NFC East. The Niners were a legit team because they played in the NFC West. And I think people looked at the Eagles' record and said, oh, no, the Eagles are loaded. No, they weren't loaded. They weren't tested all year. They played in a division where Washington was the only real competitive team, and Washington sucked. So they pretty much had no real tough division battles. Scott says, who seemed like a Brock fan today? Tom Brady. I didn't hear it. What did Brady sound like? Did Brady say anything, guys, in the broadcast that stood out about Brock?
It's always good to hear some of his delivery is not up. I don't know. I'm mixed feelings about Brady. Definitely hearing his opinion on just some sort of situations. Like, obviously, he was talking about Purdy being calm, cool, and collected, but some of those plays where I think like the roughing on the QB, like he had a pretty good insight on that. But yeah, he gives good insight, but the delivery still needs some polishing.
He gave some crazy insight on like the launch angle of like passes or something like that
in the wind,
windy, and like there's like weather and stuff. He was talking a little bit about some of Purdy's passes were floating a little, which is another thing we haven't mentioned. I think there's a pretty big narrative amongst Niner fans, local media, whatever, that Purdy kind of struggles in the elements. And like, it wasn't pissing rain or anything, but I mean, it was windy. At one point it was wet, like before the game. So
cold wind too. I mean, we're talking about 35 degrees with the wind chill, and the wind was howling. I mean, I was standing out in front of the stadium in the I got here early. It was, early afternoon, 2:00 or so. And I was standing outside the stadium in the sunshine doing an interview on KMBR, and I was absolutely frigid. And this was in the sunshine at 3:00. I can't even imagine, what it felt like to sit there for 4 hours. We were in the booth. D. Martinez says, is it concerning that we're playing Turner over Watkins? It is a concern to me, but I'll say this. I trust my opinion of the players more than any. I'm not looking for Shanahan or Lynch or anybody else to tell me who can play. I know who can play. I know that kid can play. I watch SEC football. He scored 9 touchdowns last year. For whatever reason, it hasn't happened for him this year. he's coming, man. I don't know if he's coming next week, but he's coming. And when he plays, you guys are going to see it. I actually kind of think Cowling might surprise people too, to be honest, but I really like Watkins.
By the way, the forecast for Seattle next week over the weekend, about 7% chance both Saturday and Sunday with about 50 degrees right now.
7, you said, or 70?
7%.
Okay.
Right now, according to the Weather Channel, that was what the
Reb says, don't lose faith. Okay, we won't. 49er Fisherman, great point, Lair. If you watch Big E walk down the D and communicate to mirror Jalen's audible, something we never saw from Tatum. You can't give. I love Tatum Bethune, and he's a tough ass, but you can't give him the knowledge of Eric Kendricks. You just can't. So it's always a bit about, can Kendricks cover? Now the question is this: he had a terrible year last year in coverage. But we're talking about a guy who normally plays every single game, 16 games. And this year, he only played a little bit. So he's fresh. He's rested. They're well coached. I'll take my chances. Now, I know he's not going to be able to stand up on fast surfaces against fast, running backs or tight ends. But you know what? He's good against the run, and I'll take my chances against the pass. That's kind of where you're at. I wanted to go with younger guys. They didn't. They wanted to go with veteran guys. Now they're going with veteran guys. Let's see if it works. We got this one. So we got this one from Bruce. Kruger Show, hardest working channel. Appreciate all the coverage and unbiased analysis. On to Seattle. Let's get the Kruger Show to Seattle next week. Wow. I know. I'm seriously. I don't know what we're gonna get. We're gonna get off the plane and tell my wife we're getting back on a plane, honey. We're going to Seattle. No, she's cool with that at this point. Charles says, seriously. Probably
she's given up on you.
She's given up on me, and it gives her more time to, get out there and do the fun stuff in life that basically is everything without me. Charles says Sirianni plans to beat an injured San Francisco team. His plans backfired. Yeah, I think the Lane Johnson thing was arrogant, and I really think that that Sirianni wanted the Niners. And be careful what you wish for, Nick. M-Tang, I really hope CMC's catch is not like Owen's catch too. They lost the next week to Atlanta. Will only matter if they hoist the Lombardi. Well, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but it's only one team hoist that thing. It's already been a magic carpet ride. I think we all know it ain't going to be perfect, right? Nothing with this team is going to be perfect. It's going to be a slog. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be ugly. It's not going to be a thing of beauty. It's not going to be, the Niners' 5th championship was a coronation. This is not going to be a coronation. This is going to be, you got to be kidding me. They did it. You know what I mean? It's going to be that kind of a thing. But who's going to tell them they can't do it at this point? I wouldn't want to play this Niner team right now. I just wouldn't, because they've got all the experience. They've got the head coach that's been there. They've got 5 or 6 Hall of Famers that, believe they should have rings on their fingers that don't. They're motivated. They got a lot of veterans in that room. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how these guys fire in Seattle.
I hate to break it to you, but our super chat in to out ratio we're getting beat here. So we're going for an infinite stream here.
Okay, we're gonna go fast. We'll go fast. Okay, wait, let's see. Where is that? Did I miss one? There we go. We got this one. We got this one. 49er Fisherman. Yes, you guys called it. Shanny has an edge. YouTube autocorrect sucks my ass. Worst ever. Hate it. Stupid AI. Vent. Haha.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hey, there's a lot in there. Jamie Allen. Wallow and Kendricks actually made a difference with 11 and 10 tackles. Winters and Bethune looked horrible versus Seattle. I know. Seriously, the Niners actually got upgraded with their backups. M. Tengberg tonight. Big Dom is a pig in a pickle. Anthony Catania's in the house. Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. Check them out. They're one of our greatest sponsors. They're in Pacific Grove, California. Anthony's at 831-521-5264. We love Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. He says, Larry, the content has been great. 2010 San Francisco Giants vibes, like I've been saying all year. Scrappy and relentless. Bring on the Sea Chickens. Love it. We got this one from to Cal. I don't know.
To call each thing.
To call each thing. Crazy game, fellas. If we get past Seattle, what are your all odds on the big one? Shout out to the defense. Love this team. Well, the Niners are 6.5-point dogs to Seattle. And then the Rams get the Bears. Who's going to win that?
Rams.
You think?
Yeah.
Where's that game?
Chicago.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I might go.
I think
Bears,
the Rams got woken up yesterday.
I don't know.
So unfair. The Rams just have this like cupcake path, even though
I think it's Seattle and the Bears.
How many more games are the Bears going to win where they should lose? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would it be
Like, when is
great?
that going to end?
Upset Seattle, let Darnold throw a bunch of picks, go to Chicago and beat them in the cold.
88 all over.
That would be awesome. D. Martinez, all Seahawk fans look like they smell like cigarettes and bait. I kind of agree. M. Tenberg, 49ers undefeated in playoff games without Pearsall. That's the reason. Greg Whitworth, Hawks fan here. I know. I hate this for Kittle. He's a real one. Looking forward to the rematch. I expect it to be closer this time. Here's to a great game next week and the rivalry of 12-15 back on. It's 12-15.
Respectable Seahawks fan right there.
What's the rivalry? Oh, I get you. The years
2012.
I get you. Well, that's a very nice sentiment, Seahawk fan. You're dead to us. All right.
I just gave you $10.
Yeah. Thank you for the $10. I will buy it to write you to buy a card that says I hate you. No, I'm just.
No, he's just added to the Larry Kevin Seattle fund.
Yes. We need to go to Seattle. We need supers in this stream to get us to Seattle. All right. What's that say? Carl.
How about Kev? How about Kev announce?
Yes,
I'll read the
who it
names.
is,
You write
and then you read the chat.
Enough is enough. Playing Cowie and Watkins in Seattle. No more Bourne. Plus Kendricks is way better than Bethune. And Winters, re-sign him. Re-sign Jennings. A lot of immediacy.
Worst
a lot of
gen.
Recency bias. Worst gen. Brock needs to tighten up defense. Has performed above expectations. Punt. All game. It needs to stop.
Anthony LaRosa.
Unbelievable win. Bang, bang, Niner gang. We live another week. Thank you, Larry and crew. F you, Larry. F you, Big Dom. F you, cheesesteaks. Bring me Seattle. Ooh, I like that one.
Carson Taylor.
Rip Kittle. R.I.P. Kittle. Niners are setting us up for another Super Bowl heartbreak. Hats off to our D-line, though it felt like they were in the backfield every other play. Our D-line? Or is he crediting the O-line? I guess it's the D-line. We got this one.
Zachary Kelway.
You can't start Brown over Siegel anymore. Yeah, well, sounds like a scene from Moneyball. You got to go with Hatterberg. No, I want to go with Pena, but we have Hatterberg. Zachary Kelway, Purdy's second pick. Mitchell held on Tonjes's jersey. Was that true? Was there a hold on that one? Sure. Thoughts of an Uber driver. Today's win, identical to our week 1 win versus Seattle. Some of these Purdy picks feel to me like Purdy's force of will, refusing to give up. We've got this one. Zachary Kelway. Kendricks is 3 steps faster than Bethune. T-Guns. Pig and a pickle on Larry, everyone.
Wait, that guy's super chat thing was like a picture of your.
Yeah,
Wait.
Was that you, Larry? A picture of you?
Is that me?
They edited like a pig hat on your head.
What's that? That ain't right. Who's this from?
TFS.
JD, best take I've heard. And it was from
It was right when you joined the show.
10:13.
Was that the Grant Balfour story? Maybe.
Yeah. When you put the balls on the table, that was definitely, it was a highlight of the show.
This Niners win has had multiple Oakland A's references.
Seriously, it's crazy. You think the A's are relevant? We're going to have Townie pop in here pretty soon. Will Freeze, he says, am I crazy to think Pearsall is more important to the game plan against Seattle than Kittle? Well, then Kittle's not going to be in the game plan at all. But
they might be equally as important.
But Tonjes is a Seahawks killer, so look out.
Yeah, I actually believe in Tonjes. Toyota Mo, any chance Breadstick Pearsall plays next week? Also, keep up the great work, Krug and crew. Breadstick Pearsall. I think there is a chance he plays next week, but I don't know that I want him to play next week. I think I'd rather have, DeMarcus Robinson. I agree with the guy before. Said no more sacred cows. Play the best players. Forget what your plan was. The plan has been changed. Go with the guys that are playing now.
I disagree.
You want to go back to Pearsall? You want to go back to
Pearsall? He's the best receiver on your team, for sure. It's not even a question.
What?
Like
He's the best receiver on the team.
We can complain about him being healthy.
Touchdowns. We all have the same number of touchdowns as him.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's it's a frivolous debate because it's like touchdowns is it's just one statistic. That's not.
He was awesome in the Bears game.
Okay. I'm not anti.
That was like your debate from 2023 or whatever. When it's
not anti Pearsall, but I if it means less for D-Rob, is that a good thing? D-Rob was pretty damn good tonight.
They definitely could be. They definitely both can be on the field.
Okay. TFS drop balls from Philly wide receivers was the key. Yeah, and Barkley. Don't forget Barkley. He had a key drop. Jailer says if Pearsall plays and Kyle uses 12, 13 personnel, I think we have a shot against the Chickens. He's not. You want to use two. When the Niners go two tight ends, they go two tight ends on first and second down, and they use Farrell and Kittle, and they try to run the ball. They haven't used Kittle and Tonjes in 12 personnel all year, and they never use 13 personnel, and they rarely go 12 personnel. So that would be a dramatic departure, but you will see. I mean, I think it's all open. Got to have an open mind at this juncture. Camera on Paul says, so does Wallow play at Seattle after his performance? Yes.
I like that. Camera on Paul. I think it's Cameron.
Oh, sorry about that. 49er fisherman, respect the tricep. Thank you. I mean, seriously, you don't get that. That doesn't happen overnight. I mean,
there we go.
That's two plates. Plates.
By the way, just to jump in, we do have the schedule now. I can.
Oh, let's go.
I'm afraid to hear it.
The 49ers will be playing the Seattle Seahawks Saturday, January 17th. I don't see a time here on
Should
this.
not be allowed.
No, man.
I would imagine it's 5:00. I'm waiting for confirmation on that. But yeah, it'll be a short week. No time yet, but 49ers will play Saturday per the telecast following the Sunday night game tonight. It's Bills-Broncos, by the way. It's Bills-Broncos Saturday, Niners Seahawks Saturday, Rams Bears Sunday, Texans Steelers winner against the Patriots on Sunday as well. So they will play Saturday either at 1:30 Pacific or 5 Pacific. No time yet announced on that.
It seems like they always give the one seed a Saturday so that they get the extra day of rest for the championship too.
If they can, and in this instance, you're right, they can because
I hadn't thought about that. I was not thinking about the next game.
They do try to do that.
Damn.
Yeah, they try to give the one seed the easiest path to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's interesting. T-Gun says that pass to Farrell should never happen again. Who's
They threw a screen pass to him that he didn't catch.
Luke Farrell.
Oh, Luke Farrell. I'm thinking he's spelled it like Cleveland Farrell. Yeah, that's right, Luke Farrell. Luke Farrell's not a receiver. Cameron Dotson. There we go. How many people do you think watching the Chargers in New England after the Niners and Eagles? It looks boring right now. It's over, huh? Patriots win.
They crushed them 16-3. They almost killed Herbert. I mean, he was like literally having a hard time getting off the ground.
Herbert he's 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in the playoffs. Is that your guy?
No.
The NFL, there's a lot of people around the NFL that say Herbert has all the tools.
Yeah, seriously. There were people who were like, Krug, you would take Purdy over Herbert? I'm like, yeah, I think Purdy's a better all-around quarterback than Herbert. You're like, oh my God. Like that was like some revelation that I know jack shit about football. I know the guy's 6'5". I know he looks like he just came out of central casting. I know he looks incredible. I believe in Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy plays the position. To understand the greatness of Brock Purdy, I think you have to really understand what Brock Purdy's doing out there and how he's doing it. There's no doubt that Herbert's a bigger talent, but as far as physical talent,
this is my favorite.
A lot of this quarterbacking. The best quarterbacks, Marino had this, Joe had this, and this. Herbert has this, Purdy has this and this, and I'm not talking about a credential. So that's just how I feel about it.
Not to delay us further because we got to get through super chats, but this is one of my favorite tweets of all time. Penn State walked into the stadium with shirts that say "if" on it, and then someone retweeted it, said they got the Herbert shirts on. I just think it's the funniest thing because Herbert's always the what if with Herbert.
Right.
I totally agree with that, but I will just say, just on the record, I would take Herbert over Purdy.
I know a lot of people would, but I personally, it's just a feeling. My feeling is that Purdy is a much better quarterback, and I think their careers will reflect it. Is it MKM Mick3 _ Larry, you going to be on KMBR manana? Yes, I will. I'll be on KMBR tomorrow. Kalba Kamiga, Larry, assuming you'll talk to Softy this week, can you ask him why their fan base is so frail that the team prevents season ticket holders from reselling their tickets? They've been doing it for a while. I will ask that. And when I'm not asking Dave about his Princess Leia Star Wars collection. 49er Fisherman. I absolutely love that story, Kev. Heck yeah. Enjoy Geezy. What's Geezy?
I don't know. I think that means Philly.
Oh, I got you. We got this one. I love Kittle. JP from the 510. If this game was Monday, would Ricky have played? Stop it. Now you're just trying to get me. Now that's a guy that's. Can you imagine if we heard that? If this game had been Monday, we probably. I mean, seriously, bro, come on.
If there was a COVID outbreak and the game was actually played on a Wednesday.
Yeah, stop. Miles from Frisco. Remember when we were worried about Homer refs? Yeah, seriously. Niners have been great on penalties this year. It's really kind of an underrated part of their season. 49er Fisherman. Oh, my God, like Peyton's Omaha. Let's do pig in a pickle. Yeah, could you imagine the audible? It would be incredible. And people will pick up on it so fast, too.
I have this thought with how, teams get sponsors on their patches, on their shoulder. How about guys just pay for, hey, I'll pay for audible. F you, Larry! F you, Larry! It's like,
well, imagine Kev and I do have a couple of very rich friends. What if, Kev, somebody would buy a F you, Larry commercial spot during the Super Bowl? That would be incredible. I think that would help the channel. 49er Fisherman. Okay, we got that one. We got this one. Michael, incredible W. Can make the case the 49ers have needs at every position except quarterback. Any chance Pearsall suits up next week? Hard to ask D-Rob to match today. I'll say this, man. I looked at that Niner front seven, and I'm thinking to myself, if the Niners had their way, none of these guys would play. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the truth. They don't have a single guy in their front seven. Alfred Collins, I guess. Collins and West. Outside of those two guys, man, I guess Huff, maybe those three. But their front seven is just really makeshift. Michael says, incredible W. Okay. Can we make the case the 49ers have needs? Oh, we got that. Okay. We got this one. Kev, who's that? Aztec. I had to go reverse psychology, boys. Bet against the Niners, rooted against Kyle, basically talk smack, did the opposite, and hey, it worked. That's diabolical. Come on Friday. Please activate Watkins versus Seattle. Need wide receiver speed. Yes, no doubt. TFS, that hit on Barkley. Damn. Harry Johnson, there's the no urgency on that last drive by the Eagles was a slight on us. They thought they'd easily score for the win on our defense. I kind of agree.
That was the interesting thing. At the end of the game, you guys didn't hear it because you guys were in the box, but Brady was talking about their drive being like, yeah, they want to be tackled in bounds because they want the clock to run down. And it was like it was a given that they were going to score. Like he was talking like, oh yeah, they're gonna score, so they might as well run the clock down. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, why are we acting like they have like it's gonna be easy for them?
Yeah,
they haven't done it all game.
Right. Seriously. Their offense is their big concern, and they hate their offensive coordinator, and he's probably fired in 2 days. Fortnite Fisherman, F you, Larry. I agree. You called us out and lost. Come at me, bro. What's that?
I don't know.
Not sure, but thank you. Big Dad, nothing better than watching Eagle fans eat it. This was a man win. Bring on the Hawks. My favorite win in Niner history of any team, any year, was 88 NFC title game, 28-3 over the Bears in Chicago. This is second to only that. I mean, beating these idiots in their place and watching their jackass fans walk out of here with their tail between their legs, knowing that we're going back to the beautiful, warm, sunny California, and these assholes are sitting here in Philadelphia for the rest of the winter. Enjoy 9 degrees.
Just hope there's not a group of guys out there watching the Kruger show right now from Philly.
Yeah, the odds of us getting jumped are pretty high.
Enjoy your Flyers. SE says, tell Sky Moore to not fair catch punts inside the 10. Oh my God. I was losing my S. JD heard me say, I'm like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
There's a simple rule. I mean, I've seen special teams coached up close in the Canadian League, in college football, in pro football. I've seen this a million times. You put your back at the 10-yard line and you don't.
It goes over your head. Yeah.
You don't take a step back. If it goes over your head, let it go. Instead, he backpedaled a couple feet and, come on. What are you doing? We got this one. Miles from Frisco. Miles from Frisco became a YouTube member. Thank you, Miles. We have this one from Viagra Specialist. Larry, is Ricky playing next week? LOL. I'm not sure.
Thanks,
he is
Viagra.
playing next week. I just don't know what sport. Miles says something magical about this team. No doubt about that. T-Guns, shout out to Terry Bradshaw, only one that picked the Niners. Yeah, all those assholes from ESPN, by the way. Ryan Clark's a jackass. All those fucking people over at ESPN are idiots. They all picked against the Niners. They know nothing. Ryan Clark is an idiot. Jake, shout out to all the rookies on defense, Collins, West, Stout, Siegel, no doubt. It's a long year for rookies. Boxing fan times 4. You remember college players play like 12, 13 games. These guys have all played well over that. Boxing fan times 4 says, what happened with the Niners picks? I thought they had like 10, and now it shows they only have 7. I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at. What does that say?
Get effed, eggs, and Sirianni.
No. What is the name of the guy?
Sean Hunt.
Okay, I thought it was somebody trying to play with me. Get effed eggs and Sirianni. Well deserved for the egg fans. Good night. I'm not even sure what that means.
Eagles or Eags.
Eags. Yeah. Fuentes Sports Cards just said, "Hey, I want you to say Fuentes Sports Cards."
Yeah, thanks, Tito.
Fuentes Sports Cards. Love being the underdogs. Bang bang. I need to say bang, bang more. Miles from Frisco. I know Kyle was opening up the playbook once we saw the jet sweep to Moore. I think that was a Grant Cohen suggestion, believe it or not. 49er Fisherman. F you, Larry. Kev is right about Ricky. Right about what? I like Ricky, too. I just don't think he's the best receiver on the team. We losing our mind? Jawan Jennings is like 1,000,000 times more reliable. You're in the Super Bowl. It's 4th and 5 from the 7, and you've got to score a touchdown, and you can throw it to one guy. You going to throw it to JJ? You're going to throw it to Pearsall?
I mean, you were talking about not playing him because you liked how Demarcus Robinson played. You said you wouldn't start him in the game. I would 100%
I like
start him.
T-Rob. I like T-Rob.
He's your fastest receiver on the field, runs the best routes.
I hear you.
You're going to need that against the Eagles.
This is time for the big boys right now. T-Gun, since Sammy and the Seahawks going to lose. 49er Fisherman's all over this thing tonight. He says, Jeezy, is George and story about tequila. LOL. Chad Chester. Siegel played better than Tig. He probably should have played more later in the year. I hope he starts next week against Seattle. Yeah, amen to that. Wi-Fi says, Larry, chill. Save some ladies for us, bro. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, this kind of tricep development, I don't, the ladies are, they have no shot. Harry Johnson says, is Pearsall already on next season's injury report?
Okay.
I had a guy come up to me who was a major player in the Niner organization before the game and said, Pearsall is going to get traded at the end of the year.
What?
That's what I heard. I'm not saying who said it, but that's what I heard. 49er Fisherman, haha, Eagles called us out and lost. Come at me, bro. Yeah, seriously. Sean says both Seattle games we played held them to 13 points. Yeah, seriously. You score 20, you're going to beat them. Big Dad, you're effing lazy, Larry. Thank you. You don't want it like I do. You don't want it like I want it. That's how you have to say it. Here's a donation to get you and Kev to Seattle. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there was a guy that I used to work out. They used to work out at our gym in Sacramento at Body Mechanics. And this guy was just constantly, he was jacked. He was always carrying a jug of water everywhere. He was, he's always talking about swallowing amino acids and everything. And he came up to us one day. He's like, you know what your problem is, boy? And I'm like, what? He's like, you don't want it like I want it. I'm like, dude, nobody wants it like you want it. Big Dad says, you're effing. Okay, we got that. We got this one. TFS, we didn't wax them, but you said you would use waxed more. Yes, I need to use waxed more. Thank you. 49er Fisherman is back. Haha. Yes, sir. In the house. Triceps. All right. That's going to do it for us. Wow. That was a lot. 93 super chats. I don't know if we have time.
Took us about an hour.
Took us an hour. I don't know if we have time for 7 more to get us to 100, but we've had a record at times a lot. Anyway, final word, and then we'll bolt for the door. JD, I'll go with you. First of all, I just want to say, I appreciate all you guys, but I really do appreciate JD a lot. And JD is we go way back, and I admire what JD does on the radio. I think he's a huge talent. I invite him to these shows every week because I know he'll add something really, really good. JD, we're big fans, and we tell
balls
people
on the
all
table
time.
today.
Yeah, the balls on the table thing was, that was
just.
Seriously, if you had told me at any point, you know what, there's going to be a Grant Balfour balls on the table reference, I would have said I can't picture it. But you know what, you brought it, you delivered it, you came strong.
He even brought the visual effect.
Yeah,
exactly. You let those nuts down on the console. It was real. It was big.
Well, and it's an easier story to tell on the Krug show than it is on the radio.
It is.
Let's be honest. But no, I appreciate.
So Kev is the program director of the Krug show, and you never know, he could fine you, suspend you, you could be cut. Yeah, it's very tough.
No doubt, ruthless. The ruthless Kevin Kruger. No, I appreciate all the kind words. What a win. There are some games, I know I've said this to you guys before, but there are just some games that kind of stick with you. And I feel like this is the kind of game that is going to stick like tonight, and you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to be like, God damn, that was an unbelievable. Wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing game, but it was just a game that is going to be memorable for how the 49ers got it done, as depleted as they are, and just the manner in which they had to do it with, Michael freaking Kendricks having a PBU on the, to basically clinch the game. So impressive win. A balls on the table win, to be sure. And you asked the question earlier, Krug. I know you got a week, or well, maybe less than a week now to break it down. You got one fewer day to break down the Seattle game because we know it's on Saturday. But you said, hey, should you fear Seattle? Do you feel good about Seattle? I think 49er fans should feel great about Seattle. And I know it's the recency bias, and this version of the Niners didn't look good against this version of the Seahawks a week ago at Levi's. Niners they're used to playing in Seattle. And look at Brock Purdy's never lost in Seattle. Brock Purdy went to Seattle 1-22, 1-23, 1-24, 1-25. And Seattle's been under Mike McDonald, and they've been a better road team than they have been a home team. Like they've actually been more gettable at home. than they have been on the road. And I think the reason for optimism is the 13 points that the defense allowed. Even the depleted defense that did not play well a week ago, as we talked about it all, they really got destroyed. But they gave up 13, and the Niners still had a chance, as ugly as that game was. I think there were things that Seattle did defensively that the 49ers were not ready for. And I don't think they're going to be able to get away with those things again. And so the chess match throughout the course of the week between McDonald and Shanahan is going to be a fascinating one. But the Niners absolutely have a shot to go up there and beat Seattle. Divisional games are always weird, and I think it always levels the playing field.
Great comment. This one too. Also, you flexed your triceps, Krug. Now my girl just left me. Oh man. I mean, it's tough. It's mean. These streets are mean. Rye, bring it home, man. You know, you and I go way back. You're one of the OGs on the Krug show. You and Danny, and I really appreciate you being here on these Sunday night post games. I've had all kinds of people tell me you need to do this and get this guy and that guy. And I'm like, screw you. I'm going with the guys I want to go with, and I love you, brother. So I'm glad that you're here with us. Give us your final thought.
All right, final thought. Okay, quickly, just to say, the Niners have a few things going for them. Purdy's never lost in Seattle. Every single time Shanahan's been to the playoffs, they made it to the NFC Championship game. So
True.
couple trends would have to change. And I just generally like being the dog. The dog in this matchup, nobody's going to be picking them. I think a lot of people are going to write them off as like, you know, it's a good story, round one upset, whatever. I will say, a little bit related to today's game. We didn't talk at all about all the craziness with the power station at Levi's and whatever. Okay, I'm
Right.
just
lending itself towards injuries. You mean?
Yeah, I think it's completely nuts, but I'm just telling you that like the way athletes think, and like especially with Kittle going down again today, I'm seeing it all over Twitter. I saw Demo Lenore like mention something about it. This is something that's like gonna have to change because athletes like they'll stop wanting to come to the night. Like it's that kind of thing. Like not athletes like believe in all of this kind of stuff. Whether it's like wearing wired headphones, you know, red light therapy, like whatever it is, like they're gonna stop. So that's like something to definitely look out for. I think that's gonna be a huge story this week. And with that, I will lead into a plug for the only thing I'm doing. You know, I've got a regular full-time job, but I do produce a conspiracy podcast, and we're going to be getting into it this week. So I'm going to, yeah. So everybody on here, search up Deep Waters on YouTube. Deep Waters, we're about to hit 25,000, and we're going to be working it into the show this week. So it's pretty hilarious. Definitely not for everyone.
Awesome. We got this one. Lombardi was right, Larry. Addition by subtraction. You know what? He is right. Dave was saying that, you know, going from Bethune to Kendricks was addition by subtraction. I thought that was harsh on Kendricks, and I thought it was odd coming from Dave. But Dave was totally right. And I'll give him his, man. You know me, man. If I'm right, I'll say I'm right, and I'll say it boldly. If I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. And if somebody else has a great take that's better than one of mine, I'll give them credit. So Lombardi, way to go. I absolutely think he was spot on that. Danny, your final thought before we call it quits.
Yeah. My final thought is I said it last week on the show, and then, you know, going into the game, I really didn't. I thought it might be close, but I thought the Eagles would win. But I said it in a pregame I did, and then also last week, the Niners are not going to go down easy to any of these teams because of the veteran presence, and they have all tasted the Super Bowl and not come up, you know, with the prize. And that is driving guys like Trent Williams, Brock Purdy, JJ, some of the vets. I mean, unfortunately, George went down today, but you know Fred Warner's in that locker room pumping these guys up. He wants to play. I really honestly believe that if they get to the NFC Championship, we might see Fred Warner.
Be incredible. Kev, final thought?
Yeah. Just a great game all around. Shout out to the linebackers that stepped up.
What
Was I
happened?
muted there?
Yeah,
Was
you
I
muted.
muted the whole time?
Yeah. No.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
saying, yeah, shout out to the linebackers. I mentioned them. Shout out to Demarcus Robinson. He played huge. I didn't really get a chance to speak about him. He was a guy that I was a huge fan of. Didn't really feel vindicated until today about him because he didn't really play that much during the season, and he stepped up in a huge way. Just a pro level athlete, a pro level receiver, has the hands, has the cutting ability. He's not necessarily a burner, but he's a real NFL receiver, and he showed it today. So huge shout out to them. The last super chat saying that the game's on Saturday. What the fuck? My first thought is that's actually my girlfriend's birthday, so I'm totally cooked because I will be watching the game. And if we're going to Seattle, I'm really cooked. So pray for me.
Bring her along.
Seriously, she's going to love you more for being in Seattle with your team. No, she's not. All right. My final thought is just that, you know what? There's a lot of factors in a football game, but there's a couple that really matter more than others. One of them is, can you stop the run? And one of the main reasons I had a hard time, getting beyond, this was going to be a rough game for the Niners is that I didn't think the Niners could stop Saquon Barkley. And the 49ers held the Eagles to 3.9 yards a carry. That was really, really good. The other thing that's a major key in winning football is defensively, you got to win on third down. And the Niners held the Eagles to 5 of 16 on third downs. So the Niners won on the money down. The Niners, the other thing that the Niners did really, really well, considering that, Jalen Hurts has the ability to burn you with his legs if you give him any run lane. And I talked to Tim Ryan about this in the pregame. I'm like, dude, they got to stay disciplined in their rush lanes. He's like, yeah, they can't give Hurts run lanes. He had 5 carries for 14 yards. He had basically no impact at all on the ground. Brock Purdy outrushed him by 10 yards. So, they stopped Hurts from running. They won on third downs. They stopped the Eagles from running for the most part, 3.9 a carry. And it was really good because the Eagles struggled, or the Eagles got off to a good start. I think it was even probably less than 3 yards a carry from maybe from the second half, from the beginning of the second half on. So they stopped the run. They won on third down. They didn't let Hurts beat them with their legs. They came here. They neutralized the crowd. They stood up to I'm more proud than anything that they came into this house of horrors, and just stood right up to it. And I mean, this place was rocking. I mean, early. These people, they're loud. This is a good fan base, man. These people are tough, and they're into it, and they're really into it, and they're loud, and they're, so it's a tough place to play. And the Niners faced it, stood up to it, and said, you know what, tough this. We're moving on, and you're going home, and that's awesome. So I'm going to say the same thing. We're moving on, and we're going home. And we're not actually going home yet. We'll be going home tomorrow. We got to go drink. We got to go party. We got to go have a couple beers. It's all on me tonight, and we're having a good old time, and you're all invited. So, join us wherever we're at. Danny, I expect to see you there. Rye, you better be there. No, I'm just joking. But JD, if you want to hit the town and have some beers, I know it's probably midnight. No, it's almost midnight. Whatever we can do, we're going to do. But thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thank you again to Claudaddy Arcades, who sent us to Philadelphia. I'm so glad that we made the decision to come here. It would have been really, really easy to just go, fuck it. We're not going. They're going to get their doors blown off. But sometimes you have to, there's the fork in the road, and you got to decide, am I in it with my guys, or am I going to, is it fight or flight? And we're just like, we're going to Philly, and we're going to take a chance, and I'm glad we did. It's an incredible weekend. Thanks to Sleeper. Thanks to Plank Oakland. Thanks to Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles. Thanks to Claudaddy. Thank you, Pig and a Pickle. And
you got another super right now, too.
And thanks for this last super. Go to Monk's. Have a nice beer. There's probably a guy who's like going to kick our ass at Monk's. So there we go. All right. For Monk's. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Great win for the Niners. I don't have anything else really to say about it. If there was one more highlight, I don't know if there is one, but here we'll play this last one. Here's Brian Robinson walking out of the stadium. This is pretty good. We'll finish on this note. This is a good little clip. Here we go. Little B Rob, who didn't touch the ball from scrimmage, but here he is in the post.
Hey, season over. Hey, season over.
Season's over. Go home. Nothing is better than ending somebody's season. All right. For Kev, for Danny, for JD, for Rye, for Red, who's not here tonight, and for all of you, thanks for tuning into the Krug Show. Niners win.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you won't get exactly what you asked for.